What up, Laura? This is Canada, eh? All right. Give me like 3 minutes. Just get my dog situated. Yo.
Yeah.
What's up?
Got the dog situated?
Not really, but good enough.
What kind of dogs you got?
They're like a mix. Got them from a rescue. So they're like chow, mix, whatever's, mutts.
Are they aggressive?
Nah, that's the opposite. They'll bark at people like walking by, and then like after they bark at them, then they'll like get closer to the fence. Like, are you gonna pet me? And I'm like, y'all are the worst guard dogs. You just want to be pet. Yeah. How you been, man?
I'm always good, man. I'm always good. I got no complaints. You gotta go out to. I'm leaving tomorrow. My son graduate tomorrow, so I gotta like go right after on a red eye, pretty much. And I'm not gonna get any sleep. I never sleep, and so I'm gonna get there
especially
at 5
going to East Coast.
We're gonna get there at 5 a.m.
That's how they did me. That's how they did me when I got there in New York, or no, Detroit at 5 a.m.
I'm supposed to be there right now, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just because my son is graduating, so I couldn't miss that. I couldn't miss that.
No, fair enough, man. You excited?
Yeah, it's gonna be good for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good one.
This month all around for 1v1 for the scene for basketball is crazy.
There's a lot of basketball. The only thing
is so much.
It's a lot of things I'm worried about. We could talk about it, but
yeah,
sometimes I fear guys are playing too much. And what made the Scoob and Nas game special is that they had so much time to prepare for each other. That's the only thing.
Yeah. We'll probably get into this, but the one-on-one scene right now is like it's like an arms race where I thought what was happening, maybe it was fool's gold, maybe it was just me being foolish, but I thought things were coming together where it's like, okay, it's finally happening. Everyone's kind of on the same page, and it's kind of going to be working together for like a common goal. Not necessarily together, everyone's friends and high-fiving, but at least for like everyone wants the same thing for one-on-one basketball. So we're all heading the same direction. But I feel like what's actually happening right now is like, nope, there's just some clear differences. There's clear differences that are just way too different, and they're opposing viewpoints to where now the players are caught in the middle to where it's like I said, it's an arms race for the platforms. We need the best. We need the best. We need you playing these games. We need you playing these games. And it's like, damn, if it was all working towards one thing, then the players would be able to play a lot of games in a lot of different situations, all working towards one goal. But right now, it's just like, I don't know what's happening. I'm interested to see how this next 3-4 months plays out.
What's happening? Does anybody? No, nobody. No. And that's where just all around is just weird to me. But I don't knock nobody for their business adventures. Like, what are you supposed to do? And what are you supposed to do if you're not only an owner of a platform but a player? What are you supposed to do? So until there's some type of togetherness, it'll just be like this, right? And we're all just competing for that top spot, and I guess time will tell who's the PBA and NBA. I guess I don't know. So I thought the same thing as you were thinking, but silly me.
Yeah, I just think like, because for me, when I was thinking of the summit when it got announced, I was like, you know what? This is kind of taking over for what the small platforms were doing, getting some like big matchups on the small platforms. I was like, damn, I think all those types of matchups now are going to happen on the summit. We just watched that video that Off the Dribble put out where it was AB and Keem versus Zay and LP. And I was thinking like, AB is the perfect player for like summit. The ABs, Keem's, maybe not Keem now, but where Keem was a few months ago, like Keem, Bijan played on it, but it's like that I don't want to say mid tier because it's almost an insult, but these guys that just don't have a lot of games under their belt, they haven't built up a ton, and they're not high demand. Like not every platform is trying to book them. I'm like, Summit is perfect for that. And then like you get a lot of those mid-tier kind of games, those build into the larger pay-per-view style type of game. So I was like, man, I see how this is going to work. All three platforms can kind of work together now. And then the way that that the whole thing was approached, and now with that contention that's happening with like the contracts and just the miscommunications and the back and forth, I'm like, oh no, I don't think there's any plan to like benefit other platforms. I don't think there's any plan for other platforms to be like, yeah, you know, our guys should go play on Summit. I think now it's a lot of I don't want that. Then if they're not working together, well, I'll just keep. It's like everyone's turned into like looking after their own. Like everyone now is on high alert. Like we got to take care of our business. If everyone's not on the same page.
Tell me what the point is of the Summit then.
Kind of like what you just said, we'll have to wait and see, because I can take people at their word. Like I know TNC has said what it's going to be,
but I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Well, just saying like the Summit is going to be every 2 to 3 weeks, and it's going to be games that are like high level games and the matchups that fans want to see and are whatever. But to me, and again, this might rub some people the wrong way, I thought that's what TNC League was. So the Summit to me is like the new revamped like version of that, which I get. But then does that put a strain on being able to do pay-per-views? Because if you're going to get pay-per-view style games, what do you build for the pay-per-view? So anyways, I'll have to wait and see how it plays out.
But so then what was TNC League then?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Yeah, but also I'm not in those conversations.
I got you.
So yeah, just outside looking in. For me, I think I was just looking at things from it's more of my wishful thinking. Oh, I thought OTD, Ball is Life, TNC, like there's no way that they avoid working together. Like they have to. And then, yeah, now I'm looking at it like, I don't know if it'll ever happen. I don't know how we get to the point where they are on the same page.
I was a believer at one point. I was just like you, you know?
Yeah, maybe it just took me long. And you're in more of the conversations and behind the scenes than I am. So you probably saw the writing on the wall sooner. But yeah, from outside looking in, I'm just like, I think it's the fan in me is just like of the 1v1 space, like wanting to see it. But now as time goes on, I kind of just have to keep tricking myself to think that's going to happen. It just feels like, man, every week when it feels like it's about to happen, it's like another thing pops up. So yeah, I'm over it. I think I'm over it now. I can't handle the heartbreak.
You just gotta wait and see, I guess. I don't know. I just think that I don't know if it's in a good place or a bad place. I think that it's all going to get better. But when I really look at where you're competing to be, and that's like, okay, we always bring up UFC. We always bring up different things. I look at tennis. I look at a lot of stuff that are one-on-one sports. And so when I look at that, it's not even close. Like, you know, and the defense is it's new, right? One-on-one is fairly new if you really think about it. But there's no when I go to ask people who have never like watched 1v1 and I kind of, you know, show them a video. So and then I show them another one on a different platform. I always do this. I test it out with people. And I'm like, so what is one-on-one to you? Like what do you think like the league would be? And they're like, I don't know. It just seems like boxing, like a bunch of random games. And that's where like my conversation always comes from. It's just like, you know, is it just about the top spot? Is there a role? Is there a path to get to the top spot? Is there something that we can hold everybody to? And my example as I use, we know what the NFL is. It's 16 weeks or 17 weeks. It's the playoffs and it's the Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
Preseason before that. We know exactly what it is. We know basketball. They did throw in a couple wrinkles, right? They got the end season. You know, they got the
All-Star game and
they got the All-Star.
all those sort of things.
We could get there in like 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
What's one-on-one? Like you know, and so that's kind of why I was trying from the Ballers Life side in particular to bring some type of uniformity. And it's not just me. You know, we got a team of people we meet. We have a group chat. We talk, me, AK, Matt, we talk every day. We talk every day, bro, trying to figure like a bunch of different things out. But I just think that if you're the players, why be loyal?
Yeah.
For what? But at the same time, I can give you a reason why you should, but that doesn't mean it will always line up with what you're trying to do. Because to stay loyal is to help something build and you become known on that platform. But it's weird because how the fans think. If you lose, you just lose all steam. Take Left Hand Don, for example. He lost one game after Left Hand Don. Yeah, you see?
Exactly. That's after everyone acts game, like he's just never he's
one
not
game
done anything. It's crazy.
And it's just like he just falls by the wayside apparently, but it's like he's still a basketball player. And I think that when you kind of transform this into like anybody could lose, then we'll really start to have fun with this one-on-one scene. And I don't mind it, like the top five, but I always hear you say it. It's like the top five is you can't even get there. If you're a new player, like what is even the role to becoming the top five player if the top five players are actively playing?
Yeah.
And you're not actively playing. Okay, I'll give you an example. Like we were talking about this the other day. Keon just won against Moon, and you included, and a few other people. And I understand why you wouldn't want to put them top five yet. I get it.
Yep.
And then you were talking about having two different versions because there's no chance that you could equal this amount of games.
There's no way he gets to 70 games.
Win.
And if he does, the talent is just better where you're not going to win 80% of those games because you're playing good players.
Right. So, I just think that things are right now, they're so just up in the air, platform to platform, game to game. How many platforms are there?
It's approaching the 60s now.
Yeah, 60. I thought it was 51 last time. So it's getting to the 60s.
No,
now.
So there is a list that was going around, but I just off the top of my head, I saw 4 or 5 that weren't even on there, and that was just from what I know. So if we actually go dive in and do the research, there's easily over. I mean, there's 50 states, and and most states have like 5 platforms.
Where is everybody getting this money from?
well, so here's why I don't compare it to UFC and tennis.
Right.
It doesn't cost a lot of money to put on a 1v1 game.
Right.
You can just all you have to do is have your phone camera and get 2 people that want to hoop, and you can just record and upload a game. Like it doesn't cost anything.
Just roll the balls out.
Roll the ball out. Whereas with UFC, there's so much yellow tape you got to cross before you even think about putting on a match of 2 people physically assaulting each other. Well, I guess some people think one-on-one you do that too, but
I totally get it. It's funny because I kick back and just read everybody's comments and I see everybody's point about a lot of different things, and I see the different frustrations, and I understand the platforms at times. And somebody even said it here: you don't need to be best. You don't need to be besties to make things work. It's okay to be competition in business too. I understand that also, but I just think that there's no way for right now for us to 10x this if there's never a collab to where, there's some type of. I actually think it'd be East and the West Coast.
Yeah. Well, so I look at things like I always try to take real world examples into, because people they'll just say stuff and then that stuff becomes a narrative. But it's like let's just use real world scenarios and see how they would move. So successful businesses, for example, like a McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
So McDonald's surely is competing against Burger King. Mm-hmm. Like they probably watch Burger King's every move, but they're not trying to buy out Burger King. They're moving strategically to where it's like we gotta coexist. So Burger King puts out a new menu item that's like 5 for $5. You get 5 things for $5. Then McDonald's goes, wait, we need to do something too. So then they put something out. We're going to do the dollar menu. You can buy anything for $1. And then Burger King sees that. And it's like, so the competition is good, but you don't see McDonald's going, wait, there's a Burger King right there. Right. How about we take our McDonald's sign, and we put it in front of Burger King's sign? You'd be like, what? Like, that's pretty, like, you got to agree to some fighting terms. So agree on some terms of like, we're going to compete, but here's the terms of our competition, right? They're not going to play dirty. Like, of course they do, but it's not like there's some rules that are in place to keep people from acting silly. What's happening with Ball is Life, OTD, TNC, there's no rules, there's no regulations. So they can put events whenever they want. They can hold players whenever they want. They can they can make things as difficult as they want, like without any rules, regulations, or any consequences. And so right now we're just in this environment of people aren't necessarily doing what's best for the one-on-one space as a whole. It's more so like, I need to do what's best for what I think my business in that moment. And I think that's what's causing a lot of like toxicity between the platforms, to where even when it makes sense for all three, they're like, nope, still not going to do it because that would help them. It's like, yeah, but it helps you. So I think we just got so many personal, I think there's a lot of personal, I don't want to say vendettas, but just it's so personal. It's so personal. Whereas like McDonald's and Burger King aren't allowed to do that because they're like, whoa, you're messing up the money for everybody. Like Burger King would never come out and be like, McDonald's food makes you fat, because everyone will be like, well, shit, now people are going to say that about Burger King and making, like, you're messing up everybody's money.
Right.
So yeah, I just look at real world examples, and it's like, how do these things work in the real world? The big companies work together. They work together and say, here's the rules we're all going to play by. Yes, we can compete, but we're not going to overly compete to where I'm going to tear down the industry just to try and win. There's like certain guidelines. And right now there's no guidelines between the three platforms. Like
it's the Wild West, bro. It's the Wild West. And, you know, me personally, like, I just gave up on trying to just on a collab. And my main thing is, you know, and you've been seeing it, I've been just focused on finding new players and adding the 3-on-3, 3v3 element to it, not 3x3, the 3v3 element even more. So AK came up with the idea of Battlegrounds, but he would have it kind of mixed with 1-on-1s, 2-on-2s, 3-on-3s. And we were just like, you know what? Let's make it all threes. And the reason why is because, and I think most people are going to mainly see the vision in this next series, in the North Carolina series. I'm going to give you a reason why. I can't give away one team, but you got a potential with unlimited dribbles, Fambi versus Rob. You got the same thing with Fambi versus Lamar. Fambi versus, or Lamar versus Keon. Keon versus Scar. You know, so you're going to come up with all these different matchups that are going to happen. And I think it's just going to provide such good basketball. And you're seeing the cross-platform thing, whatever. It doesn't really matter to me anymore. But my main thing for the first day is just to find some new players. They talk about North Carolina being the hoop state. If I can't get everybody to collab, which I've been hoping for, because me personally, listen, I can go make my money selling silent balls for the rest of my life, or doing this, or going to focus on video I don't need this. I just love this.
Yeah.
You know, and I see an opportunity to grow, you know, with Ball is Life having the whole movement that they've had over years. I just think that I like the direction that they told me that they want to do things in, and they gave me a lot of freedom to do some stuff. Right. So like, that's why Map and I, we really worked hard on what the proving grounds is. And so now we're able to find new talent, because I always talk about this, but I don't think like people really understand. I say the same old matchups over and over and over. You know, a time where between Ball is Life and OTD, when we saw Uncle School versus Lamar, like it felt like 20 times.
Yeah.
You know, you saw a lot of different matchups that kept happening over and over. Yes, we do want to see those matchups. I'm happy that people are making some of them happen. But regardless, though, there's, you know this because I know that you know this because who you brought over during the OTD combine, Tyrandis, right? There's a lot of good players out here. There's a lot.
Infinite.
There's so many good players. And I think that you're going to start me personally, and I just sat and thought about this a lot. Maybe you start to fix some of these problems in the future is if you can find more talent and you can have more to draw from. But the problem there is, then it becomes elite because not everybody can fit in the NBA. So what do you do then? Well, there are a lot of other platforms. And personally, what I think is that there should be a farming situation, right? To where you can work your way up onto the bigger platforms, which allows, I don't want to say relevant, which allows the smaller platforms to make money. Like, we've been
saying mainstream and underground.
You can, yeah,
politically correct way to say it.
Call it whatever you want. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to phrase that, but that's just if you can't figure out things on the same page, you just try to do what you do and move in your own direction. And for me, I'm just like, man, we don't need to focus on tearing down. I don't want to focus on tearing down anybody. And that's why when I saw that video that you had of Courtney, MJM Court.
Oh, with Court, yeah.
I was livid. Because I'm working too hard to let somebody tell me that I'm copying. And
yeah,
this may be something that happened way back when, but for me right now, I'm working with Ball is Life. So to be looked at as somebody who's copying, what are you talking about? Like,
I felt the type of way about that too, because I've been hearing that for the longest time. But as you know, like, I love this one-on-one scene because it's what I wish I had when I was playing. But I've played in 3-on-3 tournaments. I've played in 1v1 tournaments. I've played in street ball tournaments. This has been happening forever.
Right.
It's the fact that it has a place to live on YouTube.
Right.
And I go, yeah, there was a lot of people along the way that made that happen. And I feel in some type of way like I helped this happen.
Right.
I feel like I was a part of this culture. I feel like everyone along the way has made this happen. So that is one of my biggest like pet peeves of just being like, one platform is doing it, or this platform is, or this person's copying this person. For one, that's just how the world works anyways. You always reiterate on the previous thing, right? You always just keep making it slightly better. But then when that becomes like, it almost becomes like a slur, right? Like you're copying, like everything's copying. It's like, there's only so many ways you can put a basketball through a hoop.
Right.
Right. All these things have been done before, but if we can bridge that gap and be like, okay, what is our role that we all play in this, and how can we all utilize each other's skills the best to like move it forward? We're gonna get to that end goal way quicker. That end goal is going to happen. 1v1 space is going to happen. It's going to blow up. It's just like, do we want to get there, quickly and with less pain, or do we want to be pulled, kicking and screaming the whole time?
Yeah, I would rather get there quickly and make some money here. Like, what are we talking about? And I don't want to pretend that I got all the answers, right?
Yeah.
But going back to what you said, like it's always funny because I don't want to like start a war, but we always go to who started this and who started that. Bro, when I went over to China, how many years ago? 15, 16 years ago? Maybe it was 2005. No. 2000 and I don't even know. It was like 2009 or something. Dudes was playing one-on-ones.
Yeah.
With refs.
I got asked to come over there and play, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna do a 1-on-1, a 3-on-3, and another country. Now I wish I would have, but yeah.
Do you know where the whole format of a 100 comes from? Playing a 100, it comes from China.
Is that Stephon? That's what Stephon Marbury was doing, right? Isn't that how?
And where was he playing?
Yeah, China.
In China.
He been doing that for 30, 20 years.
Do you know the first place that I saw tag team 101s?
Was that China too?
In 2010. What are we talking about? So for everybody to kind of take credit or give credit or this and that, and it's just like, bro, like we all in this together, man. We all working towards something. And I just think some of the stuff that we're doing is so counterproductive to, and I don't want to make it seem like, oh, this everything is going downhill, because it's not. You look at some of these flyers, like we're getting some of the things that we want. It's just not it's not uniform. And that's the only thing that I asked for, because, when I was going through that whole thing, I wasn't going through. When I went out to the DMV and me and Terry Hosley had that whole thing, we were going over, you remember that situation.
Yep.
A lot of the people, do I want to say that? Because I know how people like just to just drag stuff and just take one snippet and act like that's all you were talking about. So I'm gonna leave that one alone. But I just, I think that there should be some form of uniformity. And this is what I was talking about, the committee, right? There's no league that's successful that has no committee. To help with rules, to help with a system of what leads to what leads to this.
Dates, making sure they're not stepping on each other's toes.
You see what I'm talking about? And it's like, for me, I just don't understand why I was looked at for crazy for saying that, because I'm not making nothing up. I'm not making nothing up. This is all stuff that's already happening, in its own way. And like, all right, for example, I wanted to do the walkouts, for like boxing walkouts. You remember that from the games? That was like, I was adamant. Did I make that up? No. It happens in wrestling. I was a huge WWE fan. So that's why I wanted it in general. And like, some people thought I was crazy for saying that. We're not reinventing anything. We're just trying to put structure and put what already works and own it. With this whole one-on-one thing, it could be its own sport if you allow it to be such.
I think it's a troll comment, but I will read all the troll comments for $20. My skill resembles a 10-year-old. I choose you as my trainer. Looking forward to this 2028 lottery on the way. Thank you for the $20, Zay.
That was awesome.
Yeah, but good luck in the draft.
Yeah, good luck,
bro. Yeah, here's something that I think I've come to this conclusion. I did a while back, and it was not received very well. So I'm going to jump back into the fire again with this one, but I can't unsee it. And I finally found this. There's just I've tried to be charitable and look at it from different aspects. But do you feel like even the way that the games are presented and the outcomes, do you think the platforms are headed in completely different directions? As in, when I look at, try to think how to say this again, because again, I don't mean this in a negative way. And I think there are large fan groups for each one. I think there is a difference between excitement and flashy and fun to watch and winning effectiveness. Okay. I think those are two different things. And again, I use the NBA as an example of this. The NBA is an entertainment league. They aren't too concerned about who wins the championship. That's not the most important thing in the NBA. It's about who's selling the most tickets, who's selling the most jerseys, who's bringing the most eyes. Like, that's in an ideal world for the NBA, that team would also win the championship. But for them, they found a way to go, we win both ways. Like, we get the excitement, and then whoever wins the championship, we can promote both, whatever. I feel like the platforms at the moment, some platforms, it's more about the excitement, and it's more about bringing in more fans and casual viewers, and it's more about the explosiveness and what it looks like. And then some platforms, it's like winning matters. So
look, I can't speak for anybody. Wait, hold on. What did you get flack for on that?
Because I think it's looked at as talking down on a platform or saying one's better than the other.
No.
But I think for me as a coach, when I'm coaching players, this is kind of my issue with skills trainers and online coaches oftentimes, because there's a lot of them, they're like, this is cool and flashy, learn this cool step back. And I look at this kid and I'm like, this kid needs to just learn how to go make a layup, make an open shot, because that's going to help them be a better winner, win more games, fit on more teams. If they can do this other thing, it's going to be more cool in their friend group. And depending on the kid and what their goal is, that might be more fun. That might actually be the direction they should go. I'm not saying one's better than the other, but I'm saying you can't sell yourself as the exciting, flashy trainer and the effective winning, like most efficient, because they don't cross over. Feel that way with the platforms. It's really tough to have the most exciting, flashy game that is also like winning matters. Like watching Scoob versus Nas. Really, if we're watching it, there wasn't a ton of highlights. But the reason that game was so good and we enjoyed it was because it's like, these are two elite, polished winners.
Bro, basketball is about winning to me. I understand the whole highlight driven, whatever, all the hoopla. But the problem is, like, I think that's what the monster that social media created. And yeah, you get a lot of casual fans, right? To join in. But I sell products. And what I do, why I sell products is because I got people to trust me. And I want to build a product based on what I actually believe will work and lead you to winning. Because anything that I come back to is about winning. I used to go on Instagram and put like fancy tricks just so I could reel you in and we could just shoot over and over and over. You'll find beauty in the boring. right? And I think that no matter what you could say, it's about winning. And I say that because you're going to get the guys with flash. You can insert them here and there, but at the end of the day, bro, this game is just about winning. So, like, I could, personally, I used to think about this, bro. I used to be like, man, let me go get these guys that I know are going to draw like a lot of attention, even if they're not that good. But then I come back to it, it's like, I don't really care nothing about that. I want to build, like, when I got into basketball, some people were saying it was the ugly transition into like, ugly basketball. So like I remember when it was super physical, NBA was super physical. They throw it down to the bigs, Shaq, body, dunk on you, whatever, right? And then it goes on to the era of when Detroit and the Pacers fought. But I had so much fun, just the fact that people were diehard trying to win. That was what I love. And being from LA, I just like, we just want to see people win. We don't care about nothing else. And sometimes it's unfair in LA, but they're so used to winning here. But it's just like, if you're not hanging that gold at the end, nobody cares, And I think that with the transition to social media and what people have like come to love and just seeing the quick highlights and not even actually watching full games, that's what people go for, the clicks. But I don't. I care about winning, bro. And this is coming from a social media person who knows to draw attention, to get sponsors, to get brand deals. You gotta have the hook. You gotta keep people watching for 10 seconds. You gotta do this. Then at the end, you gotta have a call to action, bro. Like, I understand it, but what I really care about is winning. So that's why I set things up. And I don't want to say our team is setting things up to where we have a whole season and then we have a championship. And that championship is going to lead something else because I know it'll make a good story. And I want people to follow something. So that's why I focus on it.
Yeah, I think, and I was just pulling up the Battlegrounds, the North Carolina Proving Grounds thing we'll get into that. LP is a perfect example because, and so I'm not saying flashiness doesn't matter. I'm not saying
be careful because they're gonna come after you.
Well, so here's where I'm going with it. Kind of like what we said with Left Hand Dom.
Mm-hmm.
Winning matters.
When it matters.
The reason LP is such an anomaly is because he is a winner. He's like played at the highest levels, but he's also flashy. That's not normal. So people see LP like when he does like a double step back, snatch back, or he throws it between their legs or whatever. But it's like really when LP's winning his games, it's just when his shot is on, he's getting downhill, getting to the bucket, and then he's hitting some threes. When he's winning, it's actually not that flashy. But he's so good that he can throw in a flashy move every once in a while.
And he's loud too.
Yeah. But most people that are winners, so Zay is the opposite of that, where it's like he's not flashy and he's not loud, but he's a winner. People look at those two players and it's like people look at those two players and I look at it and I go, I prefer Zay's game style because it's predictable. And I can understand the outcome. I can understand the thought process. I can build off of this and I can help this player move forward. He understands the relentlessness. With LP, it's like, it depends on, it depends. It's less predictable. It doesn't mean it's worse. It just means it's different. And I think when it comes to when you focus, when you're breaking down LP, do you watch his flashy moves and break that down and try? No, you watch the shot selection, you watch the efficiency, you watch more things. So LP is in the competitive side right now. And it comes down to winning or losing. Now, I'm still going to watch no matter what he does because he's also very flashy. He's also loud, but he's on a competitive side where it's like the winning, the efficiency, all that stuff matters more. If it was only about flashiness, creativity, again, he'd be the number one. But he understands it's about winning. So I guess now there's some players.
Thoughts on this stuff?
So now I looked at that Boog and Zoe game because I broke that down yesterday on stream, the Boog versus Zoe game. And I'm like, yeah, it was an okay game or whatever. And people were mad. And I'm like, no, hold on. It was an exciting game and it was a very flashy game. But again, as a coach and as a player and someone that like with the winning aspect, I go, it wasn't an efficient game. It wasn't efficient. The fouling, we've spoken about the fouling for a while. we now know there has to be a foul bonus because we've seen these guys that want to win at all costs. They will just foul every play.
Moon was doing that. Moon was fouling the heck out of
Moon fouled 16 times.
He was in one half or the whole game? I want
the
to say
whole game. The whole game. And Keon, well, he was fouling more and they weren't calling it, but he got 16 fouls. Keon went 11 for 11 from the free throw line. That's not normal. That shows like Keon, like for a player to have to go 11 for 11 from the free throw line and then it still be a close game. It's like, I don't know if that's the brand we want to be putting out there, because everyone's going to be doing, the winners are going to be trying, they're going to employ that every time. We saw it with Keem and Bruce. The winners, the guys that want to win at all costs, are willing to foul every time. So you got to put things, anyways, that was a different conversation. But with the Boog and Zoe game, I said, okay, that's when I finally understood. When I say it wasn't exciting, I meant for me, because I'm looking at efficiency, win at all costs, employing things that will help you win at a high level. And then other people are looking at, yeah, but did you see the crossovers? Did you see those couple step back threes that went in? Did you see the trash talk and the switch in the crowd? And I go, okay, I think I get it now. There's a group of people that want the flashiness and exciting basketball and the highlights. And then there's a group of people that are like win at all costs. Winning matters.
I think the winning is a smaller crowd, though. Unfortunately,
100%. It is boring.
It's stupid to me, but
it's boring.
I can't say that. But what's boring to them is not boring to me, because I like the little things. I like X's and O's. And there was something that Charles Barkley just said is like pretty much, you know, everybody's like, why don't you give more X's and O's inside the NBA? And, you know, they're acting like that would bring way more value. And I'm like, no, it wouldn't, because they're number one.
Yeah.
They're number one for
no one really wants to know that. Yeah.
I know, honestly, I watch Friends. It's hilarious. But if I X and O you for 2 hours, how many people are really going to watch? I always question, if Kobe would have made every day 1 hour, he would do an X's and O's, how many people would be tuned in 1 year from now? It wouldn't. I think his ratings would go down, which is crazy because it's Kobe, you know. Yeah. But there's a lot of proof of this. But always the most entertainment, like people, you just think about what does the best on social media. The stuff that's fast, the stuff that immediately hooks you. And if it doesn't immediately hook, I could be talking about how to get $1 million in the middle of this video. But if I don't immediately hook you, you're going to swipe up, which is crazy to me.
Well, we did
yeah, go ahead.
We've done a few deep dives on this on the channel, just talking about, you know, the Stephen A. Smith formula, the first takes formula with Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, and where it came from. And yeah, this is again, all of this has kind of come full circle of like, it's boring to teach the boring stuff. It's boring to talk about what it takes to win and all that sort of stuff. Doesn't bring the eyes. And that's kind of where I've been trying to go with this. Like, that's why it's good that there's multiple platforms, because there is an audience that wants the eyes and views. It's good that there's a platform that's like, winning is the most important thing. If you can also bring the flash, that's a bonus. That's icing on the cake. Again, that's a Lamar. Not everyone can do that. Not everyone can be a winner at his level and be exciting. So we can't trying to build a league off of winners that are also exciting. I'm like, I don't think you can do it. You can build it off of winners, and some of them can be exciting.
What can you build a league off of? Say it again.
You can't build a league off of winners that are all exciting.
Okay.
You've got to make a choice at some point. I've been in these conversations in other basketball avenues where I've had this conversation with people. You got to make a choice. Is it about winning, or is it about like excitement and bringing people in? You got to err on the side of one of those, and you can still sprinkle bits and pieces of each, but you got to make a decision about what's most important. The person that brings in the most views, or the person that wins the most games?
Bro, I just help the kids sign a scholarship, right? And I'm just trying to figure out, like, what's the situation here? Like, you know, like, are y'all winning? Are y'all about to recruit somebody else? He's like, no, we're not. Straight up, just like this. We know he's gonna put people in the seats.
Yeah,
that's what they said. We're not gonna win it this year. It's a D1. What are you talking about? This is the
NBA does that,
bro. Ja Morant is a prime example. Like, you're not about to win a championship with that current Memphis squad. They don't really want to give Ja Morant up. because they know that P's must watch when he's playing at his highest level.
And it's hard to win a championship. So why would we put all our eggs in that basket when we can just sell enough jerseys? LaMelo Ball has never been to the playoffs, and he's the 10th most jersey sell in the NBA.
That's
never been in the playoffs.
That's wild.
So, and James Harden is another version of this, of like obviously far more successful and like going into the Hall of Fame and what he's done for the game. It's kind of like Allen Iverson, never won a championship, but it's hard to put into words what they've actually brought to the game, because it's obviously a lot. But James Harden is getting there not off of winning. It's not the winning that does it. It's just playing at an elite level, being an elite scorer, and being fun to watch is like the main thing. So there's multiple ways to win in the NBA. And I think with the 1v1 scene right now, we're starting to see it. But for whatever reason, no one wants to have the conversation, or no one wants to admit who they are. I don't think I don't know if all three platforms realize, like, does the winning matter more, or does the views matter more? And everyone's going to say both. All right, that's fine. Perfect world. I wish this were a perfect world. But at some point, you talked about earlier, the players have to understand, what's the pathway to being the number one player? What's the pathway to me getting in the top 5? What's the pathway for whatever? If it's just views, I mean, those players are going to come and go. And the views and the trends are gonna come and go, and you got to constantly change and constantly bigger and better. And like you said, bring the hook, and now you gotta keep the retention, and your focus isn't basketball at that point. Your focus is on a different thing.
I'm confused because I've heard this from, and I don't mind sharing this because I've put this out there already. I've heard this from multiple platforms. I'm not gonna lose the ball is life, and I've heard that we're going to catch you guys or whatever. And it's not really about who said it, because I don't want to start this whole thing. But how do you get there if everybody's sharing the same goal or sharing the same players? I don't understand what then separates you. If we're all it's just a rat race to really the same thing, the same players, like what actually in the end separates you? Well, you could be like, oh, the production. Well, then somebody else would just go get the same type of production. So what then separate? So like that's more along the reason why I wanted the collab, but not even to talk too much on that. My question is like, so now we are where we are, and let's say you are Scotty, or you are Dave, or you are Ball's Life, whatever. What do you do knowing? Because I'll always go back and forth from this, because I just think that all the guys are doing great jobs building their platforms for sure. But like, the collab's not happening. So what do you do? Because now the players are just like, you know what? I'll just go over here and I'll go over there, because you're not paying me $100,000 a game. So like, I can just go over here, or you know what? Let me just go to China where they pay triple. So like, so what do you do in this situation? Because I know what we planning on doing, but what do you do?
Well, that's why I said this is what I do with every single person I work with, whether it's a business, whether it's a basketball club, whether it's a player. I almost always ask, like, what's your goal? Like, what's your goal? And your goal is going to influence your decisions. So
I'll tell you a goal of mine. I'm not speaking on Baller's Life, but like my goal is to help this become an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
1v1.
Okay. So if that's your goal, I would say, all right, so to get there, do you need to be popular with views, or do you have to have a system in place that is structured and winning matters and, that sort of thing? So I would ask, like, which one helps you get there?
So let's play is it? I think that the first thing that you have to do, well, I looked it up. You have to have a committee.
Yeah.
In order to become a 1v1 sport, you have to have like the structure first, because nobody will know what it is that we're putting in the Olympics.
Right. So you get the structure in.
Official rules.
Then like I said, the icing on the cake stuff can be the audience now. The icing on the cake stuff, if we have time left over, we'll focus on views and audience. But first, like the structure and winning and a system has to be in place. So if you were a person that was your goal, I'd say that's the route you got to take. But if you're someone who goes, I don't care about it being in the Olympics, I want this to reach the most eyes. I want it to reach the most viewers and become the most popular online sport. Then it's like, okay, you need to get exciting players. You need to do some gimmicky stuff. You need to find loud, exciting. You're going to have to embellish. You're going to have to, but the basketball, if we have time for good basketball, we'll worry about that later. But you need loud, shiny, be exciting. That needs to be your main thing first. And then if you have time. So that's why I say, like, depending on what your goal is, I think your focus changes. Same for like Kobe and Jordan. They were exciting before they became the best.
Right.
Once they realized what it's going to take for me to get to that next level is to refine it down into a smaller, like more efficient game. I can still do some crazy cool stuff sometimes. Jordan can still go up and under with the layup, and that's going to be a replay that gets played every year. But like what made Jordan was he knew how to get to the elbow and work off the fadeaway.
Short corners, elbows. He know how to back people down. What does Shea do? Short corners, elbows. He'll get in the post every now and then. Kobe, short corners, elbows. What are we talking about? It actually is the most simplistic way of playing basketball. If you really take an open shot, sharing the ball.
That's when it came to
guys that win
winning.
championships. They ran split action for 6 years, or how long was it? They were running split actions with Golden State for years.
And San Antonio before that.
Same thing. It's boring, but it wins. You know, and so like my thing is,
you got the LaMelo balls that can do every move. It's not going to win you games, but it's fun to watch. I can't not watch it
for me. That's because it's fun, but it's just like, bro, this ain't winning you nothing.
Yeah,
it ain't winning you nothing.
And then the best time he's had at winning was when they got Con Knipple.
Right.
Has really helped him like become a better winner, but just because now he has a guy on his team that's just going to do the most boring, basic, efficient stuff.
This is something that I was thinking about just based on some of the stuff that we're talking about. Like, I need to separate. Well, my goal was to separate entertainment from sport, because that's one of the goals that's in line with me helping it become an Olympic sport, because I think that you need competitive integrity. One, you need rankings, right? This is what we always talk about. That is an actual important step. Consistent officiating all across the board. Right now, we don't have that because our rules. That's another thing. You have to have rules.
Same rules. Same
rules. Okay, boom. It's funny that we say this, but if you ever want to grow, you got to have drug testing, which is, we could talk about that another time, but you need drug testing. Transparency. So like there needs to be, you can still keep storylines and personalities. That's not the problem. But the actual results, they got to feel legitimate, you know? So like there's no cherry picking matchups.
Yep. Everyone's going to be playing everyone.
You can't get there where if you're cherry picking matchups, for sure.
Yep. And that also means the best player is going to play the worst player.
It hasn't happened.
It's going to happen. It has to.
OKC was the worst team in the league at one point.
Still has to play the Wizards.
Yeah, but they were the worst team playing the best team.
Yeah.
A few years ago. It wasn't even that long ago, y'all. And so, you know, like I said, the cherry picking, the consistent rules, the official rankings, and what we're getting at right now, the seasonal structure, right? You have to have seasonal structure. If we don't know what we're watching, when you throw a series together, if we don't know what it's leading to or what's going to happen, or there's no stakes, or we know that they're going to play 82 games, which might be too many, but whatever. Back in the day, it wasn't. That is going to lead into like who has somebody ringing my doorbell. Who has home court advantage in the playoffs, or if you even make it in general. We know that's why. You know, so I don't know. And then, you know, obviously the ranking ecosystem, I think that's actively being figured out. I love what Swish is doing. I think it's really good. I think it's really cool. I think it's something you brought it to my attention when you first made a video about it, and that's for the first time I saw it. But yeah, so I mean, I can go down. I mean, we can go into like the pipeline from youth amateur, which we won't have for a while. The media matters more. The media matters more than what people think of this. You included. People don't realize that, but it helps with the viewership where you don't have to have crazy entertainment just forcing people to do it and turn it into a acting job like WWE. You can get the viewership through the media. The younger audiences, the digital engagement. There's a lot of different ways and things that we are still actively figuring out that's going to help this become legitimate, right? Because it's one-on-one. So like clips, they do incredibly well when they're done right. The rivalries, the storylines, you don't have to have these guys say too much. When it's time to hoop, keep it legitimate, because somebody, there's this guy, and a lot of people don't know about him. His name is Tremaine, and he's like, a lot of people say he's one of the best players, one-on-one players. He's an older guy now, but Dalton, you know him. Yeah. So he was telling me, like, he's like, bro, listen, like, you don't need to build one-on-one off black energy. And what I mean by that, or what he meant by that, is the in-your-face cursing people out, because the main thing is the main thing that people are going to end up messing with anyways, right? And it's just the basketball, and if you make those rivalries and you make those games actually matter, people are going to watch. And you can do all the other stuff later, through the media or whatever the case may be. So anyway.
Well, I think that's kind of what we're talking about. The reason I think, like in the NBA, are dunks exciting to you?
Yeah, I like dunks.
But when's the last time you got excited for a dunk in the NBA?
Stefan Castle dunking on the dude yesterday.
Well, why was that different? Why does it feel different when Stefan Castle got his dunk on Hartenstein yesterday? Why'd that feel different?
One is in the playoffs. The moment is crazy. You're expecting good basketball.
You're playing against the number one team. They're playing elite defense. This is a guy that's super physical, and you dunked on him. So it wasn't just that he dunked it. It was the reason why that dunk was so important. The meaningfulness of the dunk was because it's that you're not seeing a lot of those dunks in the playoffs because it's tougher to get dunked. So when the NBA makes it easier to get dunks because they're like, people like dunks, let's make it easier to watch dunks. Well, now I don't care about dunks. but if you watch FIBA, if you were at those FIBA games, how many crazy dunks did you see in those games?
None. What it is kick out threes.
But when someone does dunk it, the whole stadium erupts because it's like you don't see a lot of dunks because they are allowed to stand in the key on defense.
You're not talking about 3x3. You're talking about EuroLeague and stuff
EuroLeague.
Oh, it's built off of passion. It's built off of
but you don't see a lot of dunks because the defense is not allowing it. So when you do see a dunk in the EuroLeague, you're like, what did I just see? That was crazy.
Right.
The dunks are better when they're not just oversaturated for the sake of, oh, the dunks are good, let's give a lot of dunks. Scoob crossing Nas and almost hitting that three and winning the game.
You do that often.
But the reason that moment could have been one of the best moments in 1v1 history is because what that game meant.
Yeah.
And the moment of it and the buildup, and because you weren't seeing a lot of crossovers. These guys are playing as hard as they can and being as efficient as possible. So the fact that he dropped him, and then everyone is like, this could be one of those moments, and then he missed. Which is the reason Rob's shot was so important. And everyone remembers Rob's shot against Zay. It's not because they were just goofing around and playing stupid the whole time. They were playing as hard as hell.
They was backing them down from the 3-point line.
They were playing physical. It was all about winning. Like, this is a platform crossover. This game meant so much. And then Rob ends it with a fadeaway off one-legged three-pointer. Like, that's why that moment was important. Scoob hitting some of those shots against Lamar. So I just think, like, these moments will happen if the focus is on winning and it's about winning matters. These crazy moments are going to happen. They'll happen by themselves. They'll happen by themselves. If we say, no, we need to make more of those moments happen, that's the moment our focus isn't on basketball anymore. Our focus is on the views and the content. And it's like these moments, I always say the basketball will take care of itself. These moments will happen. So that's what I was trying to get to earlier with, like, I think some games are set up to get viewership, but then to people like us, I think we can see it and be like, this doesn't feel like a real game. And I think that is kind of what's not hurting the scene, but it's showing that people are moving in different directions. So we're wondering, why is this crossover not happening? I think it's as simple as that. People are working in these two different areas, and it's like, it doesn't make sense for the players to play each other in some scenarios, because this guy's been playing every day meaningful basketball games that matter, and it's like win at all costs. And then this guy's been mainly sparring, and it's more for fun, and it's more for entertainment. If they play a win at all cost game over here, it's not going to look good.
It's not going to be the same.
But if you take this guy that's win at all cost over here, like, he's not going to be exciting. It's going to be straight line drive. Like, if Zay goes and plays a content creator game, like, it's still going to be straight line drives and floaters. And they'll be like, this guy sucks. It's like, yeah, but he's got 30. Like,
yeah. I mean, you know, like I said, I understand the strategies. I can't knock anybody for what they do. I just know what I like. I like competition. I like real smoke. This is what 1v1 was built on. And I just think that it'll go in the right direction if you just make it the main thing instead of just about competing. But like I said, I mean, you kind of got to compete in a little bit, in a way, because it's 60 platforms.
You got to. Yeah.
I've seen this before, though. You got a lot of people don't understand how long I've been around the YouTube scene, but I've seen this before. I've seen that well run empty after a while, you know, because now everybody's outpricing themselves and are really the platforms, because it just makes no sense. And sometimes I had to show people, like, hey, bro, look, you see that 100,000 view video you got over there? That's like 15 minutes. Guess how much money that made? I'm like, how much? $120. But you're charging.
What did it? I wasn't around back then, but I do know, like, Adpocalypse, all that stuff that happened. What would that video have been back then, 10 years ago?
More, because it would have been more, because they were growing a platform. YouTube came out, I can't remember, but I was like just about to leave high school. And, you know, I remember the Tyler Ruffs, the Gannon Bakers, the KPs, the me's, right? And so that was like, in the basketball world, it wasn't booming like that. So I used to I was only putting out a video or 2 or 3, maybe a month. My checks was nice. Yeah. I was getting 12 to 15,000, especially when I got into the 1v1, the real 1v1 space. Stuff was doing $1 million. You got a 5,000 bonus if you hit 1 million views, $5,000 bonus. So, like, the money was coming in. You feel me? So, but right now it's tricky, because one, the algorithm changes all the time, and then two, they don't push your videos like how they used to. So, like, if you got a video, right, you posted a video, basically this is how it works. It pushes, you have this big of a following, but they're going to give it to that many.
See how many of them stay and watch the whole thing before they decide.
If the rate is high, then it'll send it to this. And if those people watch, then it'll send it to people that don't even watch it on the third one. And then that's when they send it to all your followers. It's like, hold on, I don't work for all these followers. You're not showing it to them? What are you talking about? But, like, wow, I used to be for my videos, and a lot of people probably noticed, like, my videos would keep popping up on people's page because there wasn't that many needs, you know, when I was coming on YouTube. But now everybody got a camera. Everybody has a podcast. Everybody has a YouTube channel and Instagram. Everybody's a videographer now, you know, because we can all shoot in 4K. I mean, I got all the jewelry. I'll give it to you, bro. Listen, we got 146 people in here. I can share stuff that right now with you that I know would do well, and people don't even care. Because remember, it takes time to build something. So I know people aren't. If it don't work for a little bit, people quit. Think about this. Yep. I'm gonna give you a real gem here. They have trial reels in Instagram. If you use a trial reel right now, you could throw it up and none of your followers will see it. It's going to throw it to all people who are not watching your videos or are not subscribed or following you. So if that does well, it'll take 3 days. It'll push it out to people who are not following you for 3 days. If that does well, then you could release it out to all your followers, and then it can really start 10x. So if you look on my last few videos, You know, the ones that I posted, they're like in the millions, and there's a reason why, because I was using trial reels. But like every now and then, there's always something like that that pops up. So like on Instagram, they did.
I just got one today.
It was time to vote. It was time to vote when Trump was running for Trump and Biden. And if you use the vote sticker on your stories, bro, I remember putting the vote sticker one time, and I had 140,000 people view my Instagram story, and I was only getting like 30 to 50,000 at the time views. But when I put that vote sticker, like, bro, they always throw out random stuff that's gonna push it out to your follower, and it'll do well. YouTube is no difference.
Yeah.
And if they throw a new feature out there, you have to use it. And that's what for me, I'm like, I'm an introvert. I don't vibe well with this. I don't like stand up. Oh, what I gotta do now? What I gotta do now? It used to just be about putting your video out there.
I've got a lot of content creator friends that complain about this to me every day. They're like, man, back in my day, I used to just be able to post what I wanted.
I'm almost 40. I'm 37. I'm gonna be 40 in 3 years, 2.5. And it's just like, I ain't trying to like, comment, subscribe my whole life. That's why I'm trying to build this fucking one-on-one scene, man. Like that, like, come on, man. Like let's really get somewhere, you know, because this is, I'm telling you, I'm giving y'all real stuff right now, like that I know works. Like, it's a reason why I ain't gotta do these silent balls be selling. I'm selling like 70 a day, $44. Because I just understand that little stuff, but you know, at the end of the day, like, this is tiring. You got to work, as you know, you got to work this like this is a real job. This is a grind, bro.
Job.
And I've seen
you got to work it.
Pages.
You got to work it like a job before it becomes a job too, before you even get the money from it.
And that's what sucks. Because it takes money to make money. You know what I used to do? I used to do network marketing. Did I ever tell you about that? Multi-level marketing?
So. Oh, no.
I didn't tell you about, all right, so pyramid schemes. I never told you about that?
No.
Okay, so I used to be the guy who would, let me tell you how they got me. I was at Fresno State, and I was depressed because.
All right, we got him, boys. He's here. We got him.
Yeah, I was depressed because I was dealing with crazy tendonitis, and like I was on the team, and it was before the season started, and it was like I couldn't even play. And I was really going to ride the bench anyways. But like in your head, you don't know. I went to Fresno State and passed up 2 other scholarships because I wanted to go to Fresno State where my family was. And I was so stupid, bro. And so long story short, I was depressed. Like, I'm not about to be playing. This is all I did for my whole life. Basketball players go through this when they figure out their career is starting to come to an end. And then I never get this person named Jason. He comes up to me. He said, hey, you want to make some money? What would it feel like to make money while you sleep? And in my head, I'm so vulnerable at that one point. I'm just like, oh, this fool. But it would be
might as well hear him out.
Might as well hear him out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Look, this is how he got me though, because this is how I learned how to hook people on Instagram, bro. He said, look, I ain't got a lot of time right now, but like, just meet me here. I'm like, hold on. He's like, I know it's gonna seem, and right when I was about to say, all right, I'm good. He was like, I know it's gonna seem like I'm crazy, bro, but like, you just got to hear me out with the whoop. So I'm like, whatever. I met him at this coffee shop, and he taught me right there how to do body language. So if you're, this is real gems. If you're talking like this, and we meet and we're sitting face to face, and you're like this, I'm gonna do this too. Well, I mean, you know, here's the offer.
Mirroring. They call it mirroring.
But but if I want to get you back to lean forward to get interest, I'm like, bro, but look at this. I'm gonna put a book right here. But look at this, and you're gonna start doing the same thing, kind of like, you know. And so like he taught me how to mirror people's body language. So long story short, it takes money to make money. That's how he got me, because I know that to be true. And basically, if I signed up, I have to pay a certain amount of money. And if I brought other people in, I would make money. So I was I didn't notice at the time, but I was the first person that he had ever brought in. I thought he had a bunch of other minions out there. I was like, no, I was the first person. So I'm taking all my basketball knowledge and all my hard work, and I put it into this. Because if I can't play basketball, I gotta make some money. I went down to, my grandfather lived in Fresno, so I go down and grab a bunch of his suits. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna walk around in these suits. I had a Mercedes.
Oh, this is Pursuit of Happiness. I saw this movie.
Bro, listen, I'm not lying about this. I've never told this story to anybody like on YouTube, but I got some suits, and I would bring people in, and I did the same thing that he would do. I was like, bro, listen, meet me at this hotel, and I would. It sounds crazy, but I would rent out rooms and conference rooms, and I would get like 10, 15 people. And at the end, I would be like, all right, bro, listen, like it takes money to make money. So today you have to pay $250, but this is what it could turn. Okay, 7 people will walk out, 5 people or a few people stay in the room. And so that turned into like me teaching people how to sell cell phone bills, sell direct TV, sell this, sell that. And you get paid off of each time they pay a bill. But I was also getting paid off of them. So long story short, I say that to say, is there's so many different strategies that I learned from real life situations that I was like, bro, like I ain't got to do all this just to make bread. Like I can learn how to develop a team, make residual income, right? Like make residual income and live my life like off of this. And this is once I've realized that what I was doing was connected to what anybody's doing that's building a business. I'm like, oh shoot, you can build anything. You could build anything, bro. Like, so, if you really have the mindset to do what you're doing right now, to show up every day and work hard at this stuff, you know?
Yeah. So I had a lot of family members that would always get caught up in this stuff. That Mary Kay, Melaleuca. There's like a couple other ones. There was a Herbalife.
I did Herbalife too.
Yeah. So I had family members that would be doing this. I'm like, the way my brain works, I'm very like detail oriented. And I always try to think like, how does this work? And so my brain will immediately go like, hey, if you're making money off this, and then you got to bring. So my brain would always go to this, and I'd start asking my family members questions like, hey, why are you doing this? Couldn't you just? And then they would get really mad at me. They didn't want to have the conversation because you're being taken advantage of, but you got to take advantage of other people.
Right.
But again, that's what, that happens to a lot of people, and they would just never want to have the conversation. So one thing that I started doing, that's why I talk about scams and things like that quite a bit on my channel, because I've had so much of that happen in my life. Well, so then I went to college, and do you know what smart water?
Yes.
A dude came to our basketball team, like, no one, and this is before NIL, no one's making any money. We're all broke. No one has any money playing basketball in college. And this dude comes and does a presentation for all the athletes. And he's like, oh, I got a bundle of smart water for $100. You get however many bottles. And everyone's like, I'm not paying for this smart water. And he's like, I just need a volunteer. And he gets one of my teammates to come up, and he's like, all right, I want you to bend over and try to touch your toes. And he tries to bend over and touch his toes, and he gets to like his knees, whatever. And he's like, all right, now try just a cap full of this water. And he gives him like a little step, and he goes, try again. And now he reaches further. And everyone's like, whoa, like I need that. I have to have it. And I had like 10 of my 15 teammates buy the smart water. But I was like, what? That's what happens when you stretch. When you stretch, and then you stretch again, you stretch further. Like, and I couldn't understand it. I'm like, do I need to? It gave me that feeling of like, wait, do I need to buy this water too? Right. Because everyone else is buying this water. And then I watched most of the baseball team. I'm watching the volleyball team. I'm watching all these people go buy this water now. And I'm like, it's water. I'm even looking at the back of the water, and I'm like, it's just water. There's nothing else in it, but I'm seeing all these people spend hundreds of bucks on this.
It's on 12 media, bro.
12 bottles of water.
This is you just crazy. Have to know how to hook. You just taught everybody how to hook somebody. It's the way that this guy walked into I forgot what toothpaste company. Read the one thing. I got the book around here. So, the Power Habits, and he walks in and he's like, I'm gonna make your toothpaste company 10% richer. Your whole company. How you gonna do that? They weren't trying to hear him, so he goes to the next company. He finally goes and finds somebody that finally wanted to listen to him, and all his things, he had him sign NDAs and all that stuff. He just sold them the right way, hooked them. Once you got them on the line, you got to reel them in. What did he reel them in with? He said, "All right, look, guys, just open up the top a little 10% wider, and when people squeeze out their toothpaste, they're gonna squeeze out more, so they're gonna run back to the store and get more." And in a year, you're going to see your sales go up 10%. Boom, it worked. And so it's just like, bro, this is just this is just business 101.
Yeah.
It's actually dope when
Is this how it works?
It's just when you do a deep dive into it. I mean, I got so many stories, bro. Like just stuff like that. I wish I would have invested in the Lyft. I had a chance to do it. I think I told you about that. Lyft, Uber, all that stuff. But you live and you learn. You start to learn different strategies, and you can apply it to anything that you do, bro. Especially social media. Like what you just said. So many people do on social media every single day, and it's dope. Like I love when I catch it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I watch people's content all the time to be like, I see what you did. All right, that's pretty clever. And again, that's where there is a fine line. I go, some people focus so much on how to hook people and how to get them to buy in, but never think of the product that they're giving. And so that's where I say, okay, you're getting into scam territory. You can actually just make a good product and sell a good product.
Right.
And you can use all the marketing tactics you want, but you should also sell a product. You should also like be genuine with what you're selling. So that's one thing I always try to look at for me personally. But yeah, it's so funny how like that's how social media became what it is. It's the FOMO, that fear of missing out and watching people. It happened during COVID. We saw that happening during COVID when people started buying toilet paper. And I remember going to the store and I'm like,
for real.
I'm like, wait, do I need to buy toilet paper too? And then I always have to check myself when I have that feeling. I go, hold on, wait, let's think about this. Okay, if worst comes to worst, I'll just shower. If I don't have toilet paper, worst comes to worst, I'll shower. But I can't do without food, so I'm going to go buy food. And you go look at the food. The food is there, but the toilet paper is usually on the big corner sections when you walk in the store. And so when people saw two people buying toilet paper, they're like, I got to buy toilet paper. And they're like, I got to buy toilet paper. So people are going to all these stores buying all this toilet paper. And it's like, but all the meat is there. All the canned food is still there. And it's like, that's the way our brains work. We get that FOMO, and now companies know how to attack that, and if they want to sell a product, they know how to push all those buttons.
I think that a lot of people even watching right now, even though sometimes we think that the road to riches or success and all this stuff is such a hard thing, but it's just solving the most simple problems. And when I came on the ball, it's like my thing was just like, well, why don't we just, and we talked about this. I was like, why don't we just give it like a March Madness? Like what you're doing. I think Battlegrounds is such a good idea. And I'm starting to see people like kind of catching on. Oh, okay. Now I can follow it from A to Z. It's the simplest thing, but it's already there. Like it's already like they have a March Madness. We're just putting it into this. And sometimes you're gonna see people complain. Anytime something changes, people are like, oh, what is this? Go back to the old thing. Bro, you know how much people are locked into the play-in, but when it first came out, everybody was like, what the hell is this? The play-in, but until the games were lit and it was going down because single game elimination in some of those to where you can make it into the playoffs. What does that mean? That means that all the surrounding bars and restaurants around that gym are going to go up because people are coming to that gym. And where do they go before the gym doors open? They go to the bar. Where do they go after? They go to the bar. They go to McDonald's. And so like when LeBron leaves Cleveland, it's like, dang, what the heck? Like now our business is going to go down because now our ticket sales are going to go down. Now, you see where I'm going with that? And so like that was like one of the things that all you have to do is just give it a story to follow, and things are going to go up from there. Then people know what to look forward to, why we're playing this game in the first place. Just give it some time to grow, and don't panic when you start losing a little bit of money or the views start going down, because this is not about views. It's about the competition. It's about growing the sport, as we talked about from a lot of different. Go ahead.
With that being said, what else are we noticing with the 3-on-3s is because I felt it. I didn't know I wanted to watch 3-on-3 in the one-on-one scene. I'm like, it's not FIBA 3x3. Like it's a different, take it or leave it. Some games are good. Some aren't. Whatever reason, when I watch Street Stars play, it's always good though. They play to win. It's always good. But the other team they're playing against sometimes doesn't. So the games are just hit or miss. And then you start watching Battlegrounds and it's like, okay, like more teams are playing to win. Okay, whatever. It's fun to watch. Whoa, OTD had a 3-on-3 come out. I need to go watch it. And I'm like, it's not the same. Then I'll go watch TNC 3-on-3. It's not the same. Then I go back and watch Battlegrounds. I'm like, oh, exactly what you said. I didn't know I wanted to watch this. I've been watching it little by little. I go back to what I used to watch, and I'm like, it's not the same. I did want to watch more competitive.
Now, right. Because now when you go into that championship,
the winning matters now.
Yeah, now winning matters because now what all we had to do is just put something else on the line too, which is money. And when it's a rat race to the cheese, like you start to see people scramble, and it's exciting to watch at that point, you know. And it's not me being smart. Oh, Devin thinks he's smart. No, it's not. I'm low-key just looking at what people are doing
and implement what's already been done.
Yes, bro. And I think that the teamwork makes a dream work. Every day, bro, almost at least one time a week, I'm in a little group chat with Matt and AK I was telling you about. I'll always tell them, bro, I appreciate working with y'all because you guys think of stuff that I never thought of. And I'll bring this to the table, but you guys are this. And you guys, it's working together.
Yeah.
Now, just imagine if we keep bringing great minds. Look at the conversation that we're having. I've talked to people, bro, that come to me out of nowhere. And they're like, hey, bro, look, I started like a business because I watched 10,000 hours. I never met them. And it was just like, that little information of working hard or this and that is all they needed to push forward into what they didn't even know that they were capable of, you know? And sometimes it just takes that little bit of a push or that information. I tell people this because I'm a basketball trainer. When I train basketball, and I'm not just there like, this ain't soul cycle, I'm developing your soul. So when it comes to basketball training, like I have to develop you as a human being. I'm not just there telling you, oh, dribble this. So my information that I'm giving you is more important than the drills because I'm showing you the drills so that you can, and then I'm motivating you so you could take this and run with it. It's teaching a man how to fish, right?
Instead of giving a fish,
Instead of giving them the fish. I didn't come up with that. I read that in the Bible. So it's like, you know, once I started actually applying that to actually helping kids, bro, over 100 scholarships that I've helped people get. And these are from scratch. This ain't just, I'm not talking about just going on to train somebody that's already in the NBA. What are we talking about? I want to be a part of your life. I want to, you know, I know you don't have a dad, so I can't fill that dad void, but I'm going to actually add real value. If I can add real value, I know what you can do with this, right? And it's not going to be me just being there holding your hand through your life. I just want to show you how. I got a son. When my son comes around me, I'm jumping on the couch. I'm sprinting up hills. I'm dribbling the ball because for the first 10 years of his life, I know that I'm his hero. I figured that out really fast. And so if I start doing stuff, he's going to want to do it too. If I start playing video games, he's going to want to play video games too. If I'm sleeping all the time and being lazy, what's he going to do? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like this life really ain't that hard, man. I mean, and growing this one-on-one space, I don't think it's going to be hard. I just think that once everybody gets on the same page, you know, kind of circling back. I know we've been jumping all the way around the map here today.
These are the best conversations to me.
Like you.
These are the best conversations for me.
Yeah, man. And this is what do we do when we stayed at that Airbnb? We did exactly that. We was talking to freaking
3 a.m. Yeah.
So these are the best conversations. But anyways, yeah, man, it's not that hard. You just got to just have a plan and execute, and go back to the drawing board, do it again.
Yeah, I think, like you said, circling back, it's just we will end up going in the same direction at some point. The 1v1 scene is just like, like I said earlier, we're going to take the shortcut. We're going to take the long way home. It looks like we're taking the long way home, I guess. So it's going to be a lot of kicking and screaming. It'll be a lot of people trying too many. I was talking about this earlier when I was streaming. I'm like, some people want to reinvent the wheel and always come up with new things. And I'm like, man, sometimes just do what's already working. Do more of what's working and less of what's not working.
You know,
I say that all the time to people. Just do more of what's working, less of what's not working.
Going to EuroLeague taught me that, exactly what you're saying. If you just keep the format, that they ain't, you know, the EuroLeague's only 26 years old.
I wouldn't have known that. No,
they're only 26 years old, but their
WNBA is 30.
They're older. They're
40.
older than the EuroLeague.
WNBA is 40 years old.
If you go to a game and you see the type of environment what you've played in, what you've seen, that type of fandom, it can't come from random stuff. It can't come like because people don't know what to expect. The format, or I'm sorry, the fandom that I saw over there, that's generations. That's generations passed down. That comes from soccer. That comes from supporting these colors. When I went to Greece, they were explaining to me like they're graffitiing like their team over here on the walls over here, almost like a gang or something, But it's the fact that they bleed those colors, which the NBA, if you just, I don't want to get into that, but because I got in trouble for this before, but with the EuroLeague, bro, like they just love what they do, what they're watching. They love their team. They support their guys. And when those guys leave and they go off to different teams, they feel a certain type of way. And when they lose, they feel that the next day. A lot of these
players the players feel it from the fans.
Yes, they do. And you
can't just walk down the street after a loss and just be like, oh yeah, everyone still loves me. Everyone's looking at you a type of way. Like you weren't playing hard. Like if you play hard and lose, they respect it, obviously. But if you just like, if you weren't diving on the floor, even if you're losing by 15 or 20 and there's a loose ball with 10 seconds left, you don't dive on it and you just lost by 15, like they don't respect you.
What are you talking about? I went to Zagreb and they had a game. They lost to Fenerbahce. And the type of fandom, I wanted to cry on the court. I couldn't believe what I was like watching. It was amazing. Let me tell you about this because I wish that more people, I wish I had turned on my live to show this moment live because the people even working for the EuroLeague said they had never experienced anything like this before. Like they had never felt this. The people working there. So they lost, crazy game, overtime. They lost at home. And as the game ends, they stay on the court. They shake everybody's hand and they stand at half court and the crowd starts clapping. Boom, boom. And they start cheering, their chants for
they have their like club song and stuff.
Yes, it's like it was a moment where they were like, it was like they were celebrating them for trying so hard to win.
Yeah.
And they appreciated everything, every loose ball that they try to get and didn't get. Every time they tried to stop somebody and didn't get a stop, they knew how much, they tried to win and they celebrated them right there. And it was like, we always talk about this when people die. We should be celebrating them, but we always cry at the funeral. And we never really turn them that much into a party or whatever. Some cultures do. I've been a part of it, but that moment at Zagreb, I'm probably saying it wrong, but it was amazing. Zalgiris, whatever. Yeah, they were saying something.
I don't know how to say them either. I just be saying how they're spelled.
I was trying, bro, but I just appreciated that type of fandom that I don't see here that often. And the way that I saw it there, like kids, there were kids like 8 years old, bawling, crying. They were bawling, and the game wasn't even over. They were just about to lose, and they were bawling. And I was like, see, this means something to them. And I died to make that type of fandom over here. When I come back to an NBA game, I grew up in LA, so I can speak to this. When I go to LA games, I'm looking at people doing selfies. I'm looking at people doing this and doing that. They didn't care about the game, bro. When I go to Fenerbahce, and some of them aren't even drinking before the games. They only care about the game.
Yeah.
They're not drinking doing all this other. They gotta be right so they could cheer throughout the whole game.
So now we're getting back to winning. What's more important, winning or the show?
Just if you want to build something
in the NBA, it's the show. They try to do both. They try to do both, but I'm like, I don't know if you can.
They're doing fine, but they're not doing what NFL's doing.
Yeah,
they're not. They're not doing what soccer's doing.
Yep,
they're not. And yeah, you can say it's older and all, bro. They are not doing those type of numbers. Do you know what the average football game does, bro?
Even with more popular individual athletes, the individual stars are far more popular than a lot of other sports. But yeah, individual games, like compared to what football does, even tennis at times, like it's not even close.
There are other people. Like I even like think about this example as a whole, because I just see it. I've been traveling around so much that I see it, and I come back and I'm just like disappointed. Like even the national anthem, I don't want to get too crazy here, but even the national anthem, like everybody's so proud to sing it in some of those stadiums.
Yeah.
They're so proud. When I go to Turkey, when I go to Greece, when I go to, all these places, I come over here, people don't even want to take
Do I have to stand up? Stop playing around.
Oh,
don't do that.
Yeah. America doesn't have, what's American history to China history? It's not even close.
Yeah.
If you just go about how long
we talk about a lot. What is American culture?
What are we known for food wise? I can name a lot of food. What are we known for?
Italian food? Are we known for spaghetti? Like hamburgers? Pizza? Our culture, honestly, it's fast food. Probably that's what we're known for.
Yeah. So no, I just think that's what I long for. When I'm coming up with all these different things, when AK is coming up with Battlegrounds, when I sat and thought about Battleground, I'm like, genius, because now you're playing for your state.
Yeah.
Or your city. And if you keep
these are the best three y'all got from our city, like you don't want to be that group.
You see where I'm going.
What happened in that New Jersey Toronto game? We just watched that on stream yesterday. Everyone in chat was frying them. And I'm like,
it was bad.
It looks like winning matters now. You don't want to be the New Jersey team.
Check this out. We were there when this actually happened, right? Nas went and beat a bunch of people from Jersey. What happened after that? They went and found Briscoe.
Everyone started stepping out.
And they all stepped out for it. And everybody bought that pay-per-view. It matters, bro. All this building the fandom, having the story, all this stuff, the structure, it matters. So if you give people that opportunity to do that, what's going to happen over time? It's going to grow. And it's been a lot of people laughing, oh, one-on-one's not a real sport. All right. I just want to see who's going to have the last laugh in about 5 years. Y'all go ahead and laugh from over there. I'm gonna keep we're gonna keep building this. We're gonna keep building because I can't wait to have the last laugh at that, because who wouldn't want to see the best of the best play one-on-one? It's headed there. It's headed there, man. Like, because people want to be a part of this stuff. Everybody's like, oh, these guys don't have to play. Why does Austin Rivers have to? Like, bro, listen. You know how great it would be. Why would you not want to see Austin Rivers play a one-on-one?
Everyone's saying that would watch that game.
What are we talking about? I think
everyone's saying that would go watch that game.
They don't have to play. I mean, there's a resume. It's something that happened 20 years ago. Bro, got you. Great. But like, what we really want to see is that if you love basketball, that head-to-head, you can't mess with me. That's fun. If you ever played a one-on-one, I can tell by the way you play. And you already confirmed that you can ISO. So, in a one-on-one in boxing, UFC, like, it's exciting. That it's just no help. You're not getting no help. So when we get the best of the best doing this, man, like it's only going to get better. But I can't wait to have the last laugh about that, because it's coming.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. It's it's similar to how people view FIBA 3-on-3 in the Olympics. Like, it's an Olympic sport, and USA, we didn't win.
Nope.
It wasn't even close. Well, I mean, I think men got 4th, the women got silver or gold, bronze. But when you watch the FIBA 3-on-3, our NBA players aren't the best FIBA 3-on-3 players, because it's a different sport. Can they train for FIBA 3-on-3 for a year or 2 years and become the best? They could, but it's a different sport that they can't go from 5-on-5 to FIBA 3-on-3 and then be the best.
How many of you guys go? Keep going.
So just the fact that it's a different sport, you go, oh, take that same logic to 1v1 basketball. Not necessarily the best 5-on-5 basketball player in the world would be the best 1-on-1. No. Most likely that's the case because they're genetic freaks and freak athletes in the NBA and very skilled, most likely. But there are situations where there's other people that don't play in the NBA that would be better 1-on-1 players. And that's the fun part of the discussion. Let's find those weird spots and let's see how far that goes.
No, I see it coming, bro. And a lot of those guys are asking me about it. Let me ask you just a quick question, because I just didn't know this, and I wonder how many other people knew this. I found it out about maybe a year and a half ago. How many of you guys know that the ball is different in 3x3?
The little wave ball. I love that ball.
Yeah, me too. I
It's
learned
smaller.
It's
It's
small.
smaller.
It's the size of a WNBA ball, but it weighs the same as
and it's got these little waves in it, like where you can grip it better.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it's harder to dribble out on that tile stuff, so it's easier for dribbling, but it also cuts through the air better because they play a lot of events outside.
So dang, I didn't even think about that part.
Yeah,
that's dope. But yeah, it weighs the same as a men's basketball, but it's the size of a women's basketball, and it got all the other stuff that mid-range. I didn't know that until like a year and a half. And they gave me the ball. It was like with blue and yellow. I can't remember.
Blue and yellow, and
yeah. And I was dribbling. I was like, oh, sure, this is kind of crazy. But I started shooting.
It's weird.
Like, and then on top of it, I'm also thinking, like, as much I started hitting with it. We was playing with it, I started hitting.
I love that basketball. I love that basketball.
Like, it made me go back to the whole myth. Oh, if he got big hands, he can't shoot. Like Kevin Durant don't have big hands. It's a
Wimby. Wimby.
Like,
what are we talking about?
Do you see what he did the other day? Pull up from freaking half court and shot the ball. Bro, a lot of these NBA, it's a lot of basketball myths. That's a whole different topic, but
we were talking about one yesterday, lifting weights. Lifting weights does not ruin your shot.
Y'all should go see Desmond Bain shoot the basketball.
He shoot the shit out of it. I mean, but Steph Curry is a good example. He is jacked.
He's super
strong. He just doesn't look like it on camera.
He's the strongest deadlifter on Golden State. What are we talking about? That's a whole stupid myth. And I don't know where it came from. I guess it's just people who don't want to put in work.
Truisms. They're just called truisms. It's just a thing that you've heard, and it's like, yeah, that sounds right. Sure.
Yeah, because he's strong, so he should be able to shoot. You know, one of the most improved, and it's funny, I always use this example because people don't believe me, but if you watch him, you know, LeBron is lucky one of the most improved shooters. Like, you don't see a lot of people just get better at shooting. Yeah, he actually started shooting the long ball pretty good.
Well, he can shoot now.
Yeah, he can shoot. You can't just leave him.
He had to, otherwise his career, like, he wasn't going to be playing like this at 41.
There's a lot of different examples. I mean, you think Dirk Nowitzki has the size hands of me? He got big hands. He can shoot. Karl Anthony Towns can shoot the ball. You know, so yeah, all this, the whole basketball message is for people who don't actually want to put in work or just scared to change their body. A lot of people are scared to change. I'm not. I've had to change the last 15 years or 16 years on social media.
Well, also at the same time, I say this a lot too. People just want to have answers for everything. And so there's a lot of times where someone will ask me a question. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'll try to find that out later.
It's not that,
but I think a lot of coaches want to be the guy that has the answers all the time. I think that's where a lot of that stuff comes from. So a kid might ask, should I be lifting weights? And that person has never played at an elite level or been at an elite level and is just like, no, I think weights is bad for kids and it's probably going to mess with your shot. So I have to say this thing when it's like the science is actually the opposite. Weightlifting at a younger age is actually good for bone development. It's actually good for players. But then also at the same time, it doesn't impact your shot.
My dad
how would it?
My dad always tell me, if I don't know the answers, I go find somebody that does.
Yeah.
So it doesn't show that you're less intelligent for not having all the answers. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody does. It actually shows more like, you know, humility and a smarter person that would go try to find.
You don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that, you know, I'm always searching, but I always understand that I'm always going to be a student. Once a teacher, twice a student. And the teacher to learn twice. So, you know, that's just kind of where I've started to grow in my life, just figuring out that I don't know everything. You know how stupid I am? Now, I told you about how I didn't invest in Lyft and had the opportunity, but like, I didn't learn Spanish. I told my mom, I live in America. Why do I need to learn Spanish? They need to learn English. Just stupid. And now I married a Latina.
Yeah. And also, probably a lot of jobs and opportunities you probably missed out on that you could have had you known, because I've seen that too in coaching.
Thanks for
coaching and playing.
Thanks for the alley-oop just now.
Man, Yeah.
Okay. So my first job that I was ever offered was when I made 10,000 hours and people thought I knew what I was doing that I did not. And there I got a job offer to to be assistant coach, really a trainer in Mexico. What was the minimum requirement that I needed to know?
Be able to speak Spanish.
A mediocre level of Spanish, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Just stupid. And you know, you live long enough. My grandfather always say, just keep on living. You're gonna see. And he was actually talking about just marriage issues, but like
Yeah.
that's life though. Like just keep on living. You're gonna see.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna get older and the knees gonna start hurting them. I remember walking in the gym and just dunking, no problem, no stretch. Can I do that now? I gotta like pray. I got the weather gotta be right. I gotta, go through a cold tub and then a hot tub just to touch the rim now.
Well, that's what happened. That's why my career was cut short. I didn't take care of my body, and COVID happened. So having a year and a half off I was just like, man, it's stuck inside. I didn't keep up with everything as I should, but because I wasn't big on stretching and foam rolling and like doing all that stuff, keeping up with my body, when it did come time to come back and play, my joints, my ligaments, like everything was just not, it couldn't handle it. And because I'm 6'6" and was playing at like 225, 230, like my body was just like, you're done, bud. You're done. You're not that jab step you used to like to do, that jab step or that crossover you like. Nah, we're not doing that anymore.
I didn't know how much it was to stop until I got older. I'm like, oh shoot, I need to prepare for this now. Like
and you feel it the next day. Oh, like, I shouldn't have done that one move. I know exactly what move it was that made my knee feel like it feels now.
It's not fun, but yeah, man. We had talked a lot, bro.
We didn't even get to the battlegrounds and stuff, but I mean,
hey, look, I can talk all day if you ever.
Oh, if you got more time, I would love to go over the battlegrounds.
Let's do it.
Stuff. All right, so I don't know. Let me pull this up. I don't even know if I have like the right.
Oh, a game came out today, didn't it?
I don't even know if I have all the right photos for this, but just battlegrounds in general. So proving grounds is first. That's where you're trying to find like the one-on-one, like they play the one-on-one games. And what is the proving grounds to the battlegrounds?
You have to prove yourself onto the battlegrounds. So basically,
okay. And who picks?
So in Toronto, we had they were called ISO Legends, and they basically found, or they watched. We all watched, and at the end, we all came together and were like, oh, these three or four make up Team Toronto. So we're gonna have a committee of people in. Rob's trainer is gonna be the guy in Raleigh, and he's gonna we're all gonna come together and be like, all right, these four, because they're gonna get a sub. We're gonna give them a sub. These four make up Team Raleigh. So basically, we got a bunch of matchups. Some of them you're seeing right there: Reese and Scar, D Pitts versus School. We got a few other guys, a couple guys in the G League playing actively at pro levels. What's going to happen is Rob is the only lock. Let's be real. We're not going to, even if Rob S's the bed, he's going to play.
Well, you can't not have Rob in a team setting.
Not have it,
can't not have Rob.
He's so much fun. So that's the case. So let's say Crime just puts on the show. In the last Toronto series, Simba played against Scar, and he was the only one to win in the proving grounds. So he made it, right?
Then ended up being a good choice because he killed it in the team settings too.
You saw that against two former NBA players, and it was an exciting performance. Like, and that's what makes it cool, because 3-on-3, while it doesn't have as much space as 1-on-1, it has more space than 5-on-5. And so you're allowed to see a little bit more of what people can do in that space. And that's why I think that I'm so happy that we sold out on just, hey, look, 3-on-3 is Battlegrounds. It is what it is. And 1-on-1 mainly, tag team. Okay, maybe a couple. We got 6 1-on-1s. Proving grounds. So, but that's mainly what proving grounds, because I know what people want to see. Now, from there, some of these guys are going to put on some great performances inside of Battlegrounds. Boom, you're a lock for Nesquik. Boom, you're a lock for Summer League in July. Boom, you're a lock for our next Seattle. The bottom 3 teams, really the bottom 2, all depend what we need if we can find them. But the bottom 2 teams do not make it back.
Okay.
The top team makes it to our championship, which is in November.
So somebody's been asking for Middle Lawwell has been asking for a while. I've been meaning to ask you this. Can you ask him Battlegrounds question, please? What happens if a team like DMV wins 2 series? Who takes the spot in November for that season?
So the only reason why DMV play in Toronto is because they didn't
finish
they didn't finish in Houston. Because a lot of people said it's like, bro, what happened? Like, it's just over now. And that's why, and we actually got lucky. We're structuring it out to where I want it to be like a tournament style, but it's too hard right now. But we're not inviting teams who win back. But what they do earn, so that we can keep paying them, right? They do earn a spot in Proving Grounds. They do earn a spot in Westbrook. So now you're seeing Scoob, Zay. They already made it, but they're in the Proving Grounds, but they're not going to be Battlegrounds.
Yeah, okay.
And we wanted to make sure that, like I said, I'm looking for new players. We're all looking for, like, ball is life. This is what we're on right now. We want to find talent. And if you have talent, send it. And I always want to put it out there. You're going to start seeing people of different ethnicity too. Like, I'm going to create a pipeline into China because I had such a good experiences, but I know there's a lot of good players in there. But what about if we get a team China in Seattle in August?
That'd be crazy.
I'm working on the team Philippines because my idea, and I want to make it very clear because people like to bite ideas, and I don't really care if you do. You're not gonna be able to do it exactly how I would want to do it, but I want to do a World Cup for basketball for Battlegrounds. Just imagine, you see.
Now you're getting close to that Olympic vision.
That's what I'm saying. In the Olympics, where the torch is being brought down and everybody's wearing their windbreakers they're flag colored.
Yep.
You almost saw it. So remember in when we did the walkouts, Judgment Day, I wanted, and we didn't get a chance to do it, but I wanted everybody to wear the state flag. So just imagine, and this is more for but this is more for everybody watching. Imagine left hand Don wearing that California bear on the back of it and all white, or somebody wearing a Texas color windbreaker and walking down, and Nas wearing the Florida colors and walking down holding his belts. Like, this is what we want, people to represent their city, their state. So
Tricky says put him in for Jersey. They need something.
Oh yeah, well, Tricky with the bounce too, right?
Yeah. We just watched him play a 2v2. Yeah. He'd be nice.
We needed you. We needed you in that last one with Trayvon Duval and Scott.
Yeah, he would help them a ton.
Yeah, for sure. He's a good player.
Did you want to talk about any of these matchups? Crime, Dom?
Down, Crime. The only reason why we got Crime is because I went down to North Carolina and saw him play in person. It was one thing to watch people on the internet. It's another one to watch him in person. When I watched him in person, and I was just trying to figure out a matchup, looking around like his height. He was like, "Oh, hold on. You can put me against any of these N words." That's exactly what he said, quote unquote. And I was like, "Oh, okay." So, and I did, and he was smoking people.
Yeah, so, he's got a very volatile small guard game. Like if he's hitting shots, like I've seen him go off.
This was supposed to be Chris Likes versus Crimes.
Yeah, that would have been a really good one. That would have been good.
Didn't get a chance to do it. I really wanted that to happen, but that's what I wanted. Our vision was, and it just fell through.
But it's still good for Dom. Like again, like what you said, people forgot that he even exists because he lost a game.
He needs a game.
Lost the game of basketball. Back. People think he doesn't know how to dribble anymore.
You got to fight back now.
Yep.
Crimes is no joke. So that's the reason why he's on that card. Sim versus Pat, there's actually a little bit of tension there, but basically, like I said on the live the other day, he said he's going to try to run through his chest for 30 points. And in the words of late great Lamar Peters, if you run through my 30 points, I'm a B word. So he's pretty much like saying like Pat is not going to be able to handle that. And we all know Pat, if you really like basketball and not just trolling, Pat is good. He could play.
He's good.
He could play.
This will be a good low-key after watching Sim in those last couple team games. Because I thought I'm not gonna lie, I thought the Scar game was more about Scar than it was about Sim.
Right.
But now watching it, I'm like, oh, he's actually very good at basketball.
He play basketball, but
He's
yeah,
actually cool. Yeah.
to be somebody to 30 points is not easy.
Yeah.
And in your first game out, okay. So this is another one. The matchup is out. It's actually SK and Bijan versus
Yeah,
Rob.
I couldn't find the post that has all these, but
this is what it should be. You're looking at what it should be right there.
that's Judah, right?
No. You're looking at actually what I want.
Oh, the one-on-one.
That's what I want. But
yeah,
same. Bijan is playing with SK, not Judah. Judah couldn't make it. It was supposed to be SK
team. His team wouldn't let him. We got to figure that out, man. We got to get Judah.
How good is he, though? You saw what I saw, right?
Man, and we watched him play another one. ISO Legend sent us another one to watch. He's just he's an NBA level athlete.
He's better in one-on-one. That's what people don't know.
Yeah. So, he's cool.
So that would honestly, immediately when I saw Judah for the first time, I'm like, oh, we need to see him against Lamar. We need to see him against Nas. We need to see. I'm thinking of everybody, bro.
Yeah, he got to see everyone.
I'll let him work his way up, but Bijan, as we know, you watch how I watch. He handled Data, and Data is good.
Yeah,
handled him.
As soon as he saw a shot go in, it was like lights out.
Yeah, and Bijan, I still think that he's not in max shape right now, and I wish that he would get all the way in shape how I think he could. But he's still a really, really good player.
Yeah, agreed.
It's Uncle Scoob. This is a game where
you said there was some Map was saying there's some animosity, like previous animosity here.
They be in each other's face. D Pitts beats Uncle Scoob twice in the OBL. And it was like, okay, let's just set up a proper game. They played up to 11, which, I guess that's what it was. All ones. I did the math, like school would have won pretty if they was playing twos and threes, but it doesn't matter. To be up 2-1, play one game to 7, one game to 11 on the OBL. Okay, that's something there. So he's a good basketball player. And he's playing against Uncle School, who did beat him one time, the last time. So I think that this is a totally different game than both of those games, all three of those games were, because they're playing up to what? 30. At home.
Home territory.
Yeah. Home game.
And then I think I'm probably missing a few. Oh, here's where it got announced. Yeah.
Jamar, they say it's pretty good too, by the way.
And then
2-on-2.
Yeah.
Tevin Mack been he been hitting me for a while. Like, he was.
Yeah, I know the name.
He's very good basketball player, play high level D1, played overseas, and then you're looking at somebody literally on a G League team in the Jersey for the Swarm. So, this is gonna be a good matchup. My questions are how are Zay and Bruce gonna shoot from the 3-point line? And then my questions for Tevin and Chris, are they gonna rebound? Because we know on this scene, 2-on-2 and 3-on-3, they crash the boards. If you ever seen DMV play, you watch Uncle Scoop and even honestly Frank Nitty Nas, like them dudes crash the boards, so
you have to play hard to beat them in a 2-on-2. In any type of team setting, you have to play hard the whole game.
Up to 40, 40, it's still a long game when you're not taking breaks. You got to think about 1-on-1, you're taking breaks in between possessions. And 2-on-2, you do not. This is a game I think that both players need for different reasons. One, because Reese got beat pretty bad by Cam. Winning in the halftime, by
pretty convincing.
Couldn't figure it out because he was in no man's land, not pressing up, giving away the jumper, and also playing back for a guy to run at him in Cam. So he needs.
And he only fouled 3 times,
which is
he only
crazy.
Needs 3 fouls.
Which is crazy to me because for the reasons that we've been talking about.
Yes.
And then you got Scar, who's actively trying to make his way up into that top 5, playing against the top 5 players. And personally, these are the games you got to win, but he doesn't win them all the time. But I will say this, though. When he played against Ryan, let's be real.
Completely different player.
I'll be real.
He did that.
When Scar played against, first of all, Ryan, he's a content guy. He made his videos made more views than guys like Rob. And so we understand that. That's great. But when he played against J. Lou, which was a content game, by the way, when he played against J. Lou, he really came out strong. I don't know if you remember that. He was playing so hard, he started cramping up. He had to eat mustard.
Oh, you're talking about Ryan? Yeah.
Yeah. When I'm sorry, J. Lou versus Ryan.
Yeah.
So he came out and he's definitely. I talked to him more than one occasion. He's trying to show that, hey, look, I'm not trying to be just a content. I want to show that I'm for real. So he kind of showed a little bit against J. Lou, but against Scar, Scar met him where he stood, and it was he beat the brakes off him. To be honest with you, let's be real. You watched it how I watched it. He was ripping him. He was going to the basket. He was hitting three. He did it all. So this is the big game for a guy like Scar, because now we start entertaining it. Like, okay, maybe he's ready for the top guys on the summit, the top guys on OTD. We've seen him almost beat Rob.
Down to one possession. Yeah, was he a shot away from winning?
He should have won. If you watch it, he should have won the game. And it's funny when you think about it. What was that, 2 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah. When he was 21.
So he's definitely gotten better, but he's also proved that he's still got maturity issues. If you've been watching the Battleground series, one game he plays against the DMV, he's elite. Him and Jamil. And how beautiful is it to see like a back to the basket player out in the midst
pick and roll stuff, feed it into the post and cut off that.
I'm like, bro, what is going on? And so then he goes and play against Nas, and he turns into Dance 3000, and Nas was sitting down. So you see the potential. Then this game, Lamar and JT Terrell, which this game is literally 100% set up because we weren't going to do JT. JT he trained in the gym. He would hoop with us. Good dude, good player, still bouncy. Mixtape legend. That's what a lot of people understand. He's from North Carolina. He's one of the people that helped out Boss Life with a great mixtape, right? Now, the reason why we weren't going to pick him because we're looking for like some up and comers, but like people like you got to have JT Terrell. And as somebody who he's a good dude. This matchup really happened because he got a shot blocked for $100,000 by who? Lamar.
Oh, was that in the OTD 5v5?
He gets his shot blocked for $100,000.
Oh, okay. Here's the lore that I needed.
He gets a shot too.
And then Lamar goes and scores. Yeah.
He went like back to back. And so JT was like, oh yeah, I need that. So that's why that's literally the story why that's happening.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Because we're going to watch that game probably tomorrow as well.
It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game. Yeah. I think Lamar, JT got to be ready for that though.
Yeah.
Lamar's
that's gonna be rough.
And he's playing with a chip. Like, it's nothing worse than a person that's desperate, trying to fight.
Just lost the game.
And you as my witness, he's not losing the scrubs. He's losing to really good players, bro. Like really good players. So now you got Nazir Core, Justin Wright. Justin Wright has the same demeanor as a Naj Core. And what I mean by that, you can't speed him up. I've been watching him and his synergy and whatnot. Very good player, plays at the same speed, but he's gonna try to run through. And I don't care how big Nas is, he's gonna try to run through his chest. Watch, you'll see. He's gonna try to run through his chest the whole game, tire him out.
How tall is he? Same height?
Like a little shorter than Nas, but they highly recommended Justin to play against Nas. I mean, by that picture, he looks like he's Chris Likes height.
Yeah, he looks short. So it's hard to tell.
I think that this is a lose. I don't want to say a lose-lose for Nazir. If he loses, he has everything to lose. Right?
Yeah.
That's what makes it exciting, though.
But,
at the same time.
It's the same thing about, again, the narrative is still like Nas is only playing pros. But I'm like, we just saw him play SK. Now he's playing Justin Wright. It's like he's still outside. He just played Scoob.
Yeah, he outside. We got to start getting rid of stupid narratives, right? Because they're like, he doesn't play anybody, or now he doesn't play anybody on the scene, or now he only playing against retired NBA players, or now it's like, bro, like haters are good at one thing. What are they good at? Moving the goalposts. They're good at moving the goal. And this is coming, and I said this in the comments. This is coming from somebody who used to accuse him of ducking.
Yeah.
Me, and so, I give credit where it's due. Nas been playing basketball. And I'm gonna share this again because I want everybody to know. Because people gave Nas a hard time on this. They were saying, "Oh, Nas was ducking." I'm sorry, no, Nas only won because of the rules against school.
Yeah,
Nas didn't want that rule.
exactly.
He was fighting. He was almost threatening not to sign his contract because of that rule that he won by. So I can't hold that against him, because he didn't want it. And so he's played against Scoop, who's on the scene, who's considered a top 5 player, right? Okay, got that. How many players he's played against a Frigga? He's played against a lot of players. Well, he hasn't played recently. Well, yes, he has. He played against SK. He's about to play against Jesse. He's been playing on the blueprint. Yes, he played against the active. Well, why is he calling out retired NBA player? Well, if you consider Austin retired, got it. But Austin didn't. Austin started the whole thing.
Austin is the same age as Scoob, right?
Yes. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore. But everybody's just kind of you gotta. I just feel like if somebody's playing, give them their credit. That's just the way I feel about it. He wants to play.
I agree. I think if the space had the structure we were talking about, it would make sense to press the players more about ducking. But right now it's just in a space of well, we can't blame the players. It's on everybody that there's not the structure. It's on everybody that there's not one cohesive way to rank and whatever. It's not on Nas. It's not on, Rob's been going through the heat this last week. It's not on the player. There's no structure. So it's as fans, no matter what they do, we're always going to want them to play more. That's always what we're going to want as fans. We want them to play more. And as soon as they lose, we'll move on to the next guy. Well, now this guy needs to play more games. So yeah, I think the silly narratives are probably the ones that we need to shut down, those goofy ones. But yeah, I think for the most part, the players are playing. This is the best the scene has been. Just all the way tying a bow on it. What we were talking about earlier, it's just going to take a little longer to get to its next stage, unfortunately, if the platforms aren't on the same page.
Right. And it is what it is. I don't hate nobody. I don't dislike anybody. I love what the different platforms are trying to do. I just wish that it was all together because, when you do something and you do it together, you move together, right? And there's enough money and there would be enough games to where nobody would have to not eat. Now, sure, not literally everybody's going to make it, but there are 50 states, and there are a lot of players in those states, and so, and there's countries, there's different, bro, it's so much that can happen with this 1v1 scene, and that a lot of people just, their pride won't let it happen, but I see what the players are doing. I see what they're doing. Just you know what? We'll just go play here. Well, but then now that shorts them from making money.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, though, I've looked at the OTD Ball is Life, how they're working together at the moment. It's not even working together as they have to be the same platform or they have to have that. Because again, Ball is Life's focus has been the 3-on-3 mainly. OTD's focus is biggest, best matchup as often as possible. So it's it's still 2 different routes, but you get to use the same pool of players. So those players can play, on a Friday and a Saturday at Ball is Life, and then 4 days later they can do a season at OTD. What really happened there was you guys just go, hey, let's split the cost. And then you can use them for what you need to use them for, whatever your goals are. We'll use them for whatever our goals are. That's what I mean as in working together. You don't have to be the same platform. You don't have to do the exact same stuff, but it should make sense for both platforms and the players. And that's where it's man, imagine there's a third platform. These players, so the platforms would need to go, hey, maybe once a month we got to put on an event or a thing because the other platform is going to do one later in the week, and then the other one's going to do one, and we'll just feed through the same players. And the players now are playing full time, and each platform can do their own. You can do your own thing. But as long as we're going to, let's just kind of cut the costs across the board. So it's costs less for all of us. The players would still be getting paid probably what they're worth or the same. It would just mean the platforms are just paying less. So that was the vision I saw happening. Now that I see it not going that way, it's just like, all right, we'll see how long it takes before it makes too much sense to do that. We'll see how long that takes. Maybe it'll never happen. But again, I'm through getting my hopes up with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much that could happen to me, right? Especially if ball is life, yes, we are definitely heavily in the one-on-one space, but we've pivoted some of it into the 3-on-3 space, right? I thought next chapter threw an awesome 1v1 tag team tournament.
Yeah, champions.
It was
It's dope.
great. And because I didn't get a chance to watch it live, but I watched it after. Like people was like, you gotta watch what Rob was doing. And there's some stuff happening with Fambi and Rob.
C4 as well.
And C4. So
C4
now like,
and Fambi and
like it's fire. Like now we got something there. You know, off the dribble figures out whatever direction they and I like you know one thing I really like. Davo's good at going to get like bro, we was in the gym. G Herbo was in the gym. What's the dude who wears the glasses, has blonde hair?
Doug. Oh, Neon.
Neon was there. Yeah, all these dudes the rappers was there. Like
Backcourt Connection was in that same gym.
And that's cool.
Phil Handy was there.
Yeah, he's making it happen. And so like there's almost just a whole lane for that. And he had like the guys playing against each other. I think Neon played and I had to leave, I can't remember, but like it was like a whole little event. And Davo just kind of, to me, he has his own lane of stuff. And I think Ball's Life has their own lane and Next Chapter has their own lane and they can coexist. No problem. No problem if they just own something. You know, and one thing, this is a huge problem that I have, bro. Spreading myself too thin because I never did one thing super well.
Jack of all trades.
I had to, bro. I'm still kind of doing it. It makes me sick because I'm a narrator. I'm going out to the EuroLeague. I'm going to sell silent balls. I'm selling online shooting program. I'm selling this. So it's like, bro, like the McDonald's started with a Big Mac.
Big Mac. Happy Meal.
Coffee. They started with coffee at Starbucks. They still only really sell like one type of burger in and out. They just make it a double or a single or you know what I'm saying? Like it's all the same. But then
they came as a player, star in your role, master your thing.
Then they came out with the milkshakes. And then they came out with the fry, but it was just about mastering one thing really well. And that's what I long to do, you know, and I'm starting to narrow down and come to like, all right, for this season, I'm gonna focus on this so that I can actually get it going and operating on its own. Then I can focus on the little things, right? And I know how to delegate. But I think, you know, going back to, I think everybody can have their own lane if that's what they choose to do, and if it was properly communicated. And I'm not to share too much, but I used to think that counseling was weak until I went to a counselor. And, you know, I did it with my wife. And once we learn how to communicate, our life is just so much better. We have more fun. We have family time. We have all this.
But you still can't speak Spanish?
I'm more. Hey, hold on. Duolingo, I'm on 136 days in a row. And so, you know, I'm doing 30 minutes a day. When I went out to Europe, I was kind of talking a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I was in the taxi speaking Spanish. But yeah, no, I'm saying my point was it's just like I'm trying to learn how to communicate actively and get better at and be present. And I think that the communication goes such a long ways. And some of the things that led to a lot of these problems between the platforms probably could have just, with the right communication, we would never be in this situation right now. But sometimes competition develops, you know.
Competition breeds success or whatever.
Yeah,
pressure makes diamonds.
I get it, but you know, we'll know where all this is leading to in a few years, right?
Yeah. And everyone that's listening to us talk, like this is definitely just yap session. Like some of these things we don't have answers for, but I do think this is how. I know we'll probably get some negativity or whatever, some backlash for some of these, but I do think these conversations are how the next steps get resolved and get us closer to solutions. So yeah, I agree, man. Again, the one-on-one space is better than it's ever been. So this is not like a 5-alarm fire, but yeah, just going to be the long way home, like I said. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to Battlegrounds, and then after that OTD Elite, and then hopefully again another summit after that. So it's just like the basketball's not slowing down. It's not slowing down, and
it helps you out because you get to react to everything.
I get to react to everything. I can break stuff down and get to talk to all the players. Like, this is infinite basketball. This is great.
Right. But I do want to tell you, and we talked about this, just keep doing what you do in terms of like, you love basketball. That's why we always got talks like this, because you love it how I love it, you know? And so like, just keep doing what you do. And it's not so much just about the freaking the clicks and all this other stuff, and you know, just saying something Stephen A style. Like, I like watching what you do because you actually break stuff down, you know, and that's what like early on that I was doing, and it was just a lot, bro. I gotta respect you doing this stuff every day.
Yeah, well, I guess that's something different.
Derek?
Yeah, what you got, Derek? That's one of the things that people. I was doing this for a living.
Right.
But in an office, or doing this for a living at a club or for a program. And so the fact that now I can just do this from home because of this great thing of YouTube, it's like, yeah, it's still work. It is tough to do, but if this is what gives me income and I get to enjoy doing this, I'd rather do it here than, like I said, be locked into one team for a year where you're on the, and again, it's not glorious, you know, the pay for coaching overseas or playing overseas, like it's not always glorious. You know, so being able to like work for yourself and choose, and like I get to go to whatever events I want to now. I get to go watch any high school game, college game. Like I've had more conversations with high level coaches, high level players, and high level programs. Like I get invites to go do stuff all the time now, which is before when you're working with one team in one place. Like that's what you do.
Right.
So as much as this is like what you said, like, you know, it's tough what I do. I'm like, but so much better than what I was doing before.
I'm gonna actually answer. Yeah, I'm gonna actually answer that question. So you gotta understand, Battlegrounds. We didn't know where it was going. I wasn't even on when AK came up with Battlegrounds. I just saw it. I was like, okay. I remember he mentioned it to me. He's like, well, I'm thinking about doing Battlegrounds and blah blah blah. Actually, was I on? Was I on? No, I was just about to. But he was telling me about the idea of it. So they were just putting teams together. And, you know, you need at least one person on the team. So Nitty is from LA. Got it. Left Hand Dime is from LA. And they needed an extra. So I just think that they went the Bino route just so they could have him a part of the series. But as Battlegrounds has started to become bigger, we wanted to make sure that that people were from there. And yeah, we just don't want random people playing on random teams. Now you saw Bijan with Philly. That was because of injury.
Yeah,
he wasn't.
AB got hurt.
Yeah, AB got hurt. So we always try to have extras. Okay. Do you guys think you can mediate a conversation with the big people? No, I tried.
I don't think the conversation is. I don't think people are wanting to have the conversation. So it's not about would we mediate it. Like you got to have, everyone's got to be involved, and I just don't think we're there yet.
The first person to tell me that was like Sil. It was like, yeah, it ain't gonna happen. Forget about it. I was like,
so yeah, okay. Baby Durant says, ask Dev about CLA. I saw you saw the post today. Where am I at? Yeah, this one. I saw you comment on this. DJ Sackman asking about
drills. Is that what it is?
Well, the CLA training, constraint-led approach. I'm making a big video on this. You know, I do deep dives and jump.
I'm just trying to make sure I don't get it wrong. So what is it like?
Exactly. What do you mean get it wrong? There is no there's no getting it right. This is the problem. So the constraint-led approach is this ecological dynamics is a framework. Okay. So it's typically saying that you can't teach an athlete by me telling you, hey, to shoot, you put your elbow under the ball and you shoot from your finger pads, not fingertips or not from the palm, but kind of your finger pads. Then you want to put rotation on. They would say I can't transfer knowledge to you by doing that. They would say the only way you learn to shoot is you have to go shoot and try it for yourself. because the way your brain works and the way we learn and perceive things, that's doing the thing in a live environment, in a representative environment, is the only way to learn the skill.
So just go play.
Basically. But what I look at when I talk about CLA or ecological dynamics, I don't talk about it as a whole theory. I just basically am like, oh, some of the tools that they use, I really like. And I use that in some of my coaching and training. But then CLA will be like, stop. No, you can't do implicit instruction. That doesn't work. I'm like, no, it does. I help people with stuff like that all the time. I'll tell them something and then it flips a switch in their brain. They understand, they go do it better. No, that's not what actually is happening. What actually is happening, and it's like, all right, you're losing me, bud. That's the problem with constraint-led approach typically is it's like a full theory that you have to dive into and learn all the words and learn everything about it and use it 100%, or use another type of training.
I think
but
that
really
this
it's
happens,
just well, just more so, instead of like we're going to stand across from each other and do form shooting back and forth to each other, instead of doing that for an hour, which is what they would say, that's what traditional coaches do. You do form shooting for an hour, and they would say it's better to, I want this kid to spin the ball out, and you got to spin one time and shoot. Okay, next time, spin no time. Now jump off 2 feet, jump off 1 foot. And it's more experimental. And it's like, see, you're going to learn more by doing that than just form shooting. Whereas you as a trainer, or me as a trainer or a coach, we would go, you can use both. There's time and place to use both.
Yeah.
I think
this happens every 5-6 years, to where somebody figures out a new way to put something, and then they're just like, all right, this is the way, whatever those guys are teaching, and they try to make their training seem like it's better than others.
The new improved.
Whereas Kevin Durant learned from his brothers who didn't even know how to play basketball, from what the stories that I've seen, and so I see this stuff all the time. And it's funny because, like, of my mentors, like, you got to think of who some of my mentors are. Well, one is Phil Henry. I always call on him when I need, some advice or whatever. And so
what does he talk about with Kobe? What he learned watching Kobe.
Well, that's my point. Improvement comes from deep practice. And a lot of the coaches that I've learned that are the best, they have a lot of things in common, but not 100%. But some of them have, they focus on deep practice. And then another thing is they focus on like calm coaching, like when it needs to. They'll raise their voice when they want, but they're always able to get their points across. And it doesn't always come through yelling, but it's also part of
connecting with the player.
You have to know who you're dealing with. And I learned that as a point guard, because I was always trusted when I played, but I understood, oh, this person will react emotionally if I talk to him a certain way. So I'll make sure he's not in front of everybody when I say this. So I'll bring him in, like, hey, yo, bro, like, go fucking rebound. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, go rebound. And like, and I'm gonna do it too. So I just need you to know. And then another person like, come on, like, and so I'm talking to, and so I learned how to deal with that. But anyways, this type of stuff happens all the time, bro. And with my son, you can do whatever you want with your kid, but I know it to be working. So I give you a perfect example. I started working on the spin move of my son. My son's
I saw the little tape. I saw the tape on the ground. I saw I'll be watching.
So we did it for 30 minutes straight. But like, I showed him on the TV Dwayne Wade spinning around and ducking on somebody. I forgot who he was. Yeah, Ibaka. Yes, I showed him that, and I wanted him. I turned it up super loud, 60 out of 100 volume, because you don't blow his ears out at an early age. So when he saw that, and he heard the crowd reacting, he was like, "Oh, this is what it is, right?" So we just worked on it. He worked on it, and then I walked away, and he kept doing the spin move, spin for 30 minutes, and so it was called deep practice. We go outside the other day, and his cousins came over. Cousins want to go out. Let's go play basketball. Okay. He's like, whatever. He goes and says, all right, me versus you two. That's what my son said. And so the kid, one of his little cousins, he just knows how to fight and tackle. So he's tackling him. He's just tackling every time. He hit his head on the concrete. So Sky got up, he started crying, whatever. And then he's like, well, I want to keep playing. So he makes a move. He goes by one of his cousins, and then his other cousin charges in for that tackle again. And what does he do? He spun around him. And it worked so well that the kid dove and tackled there and went straight and scraped up his chin, started bleeding. I was like, bro, it was one of those moments. Anybody who's a dad knows that there's going to be certain moments. It doesn't matter if it's basketball or whatever. You're like, damn, I wish somebody else would have saw that. That's what I couldn't believe it. I'm looking at the ring. I forgot I unplugged the ring last month. It's like, I wish somebody would have, because it was perfect, but it came from deep practice. So when I run into people saying, hey, look, like, this is the way, stop it. Just stop it, bro, because I done did every different type of trainer you could think. It's funny because that's how I ran into you when you were making those videos about trainers.
Oh, yeah.
They're hilarious because, like, I understand your sense of humor.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I didn't see all these guys try, like, you're 20 years old and you're trying to reinvent this way that's been working for people for years and try to give it some fancy name that's catchy. Okay, CLA or whatever. And it's just like, bro, listen, form shooting has been working for years.
Yeah.
Why would Steph Curry? I watched Steph Curry train for 2 years on I forgot my exact seat number, but I was sitting in the same spot. I would get tickets from one of the players that I was training, and I would watch him. You know what he still does?
Yeah, form shooting, simple ball handling, triple threat, jab steps without even shooting the ball. Does all that, all the most boring stuff.
And you know, like I said, it's in books. Like, we always try to reinvent all this stuff that's been in books. Like, even like physical training, like they have all this, and they have what's called mobility now. Bro, I got books that are black and white that came from one of my trainers that Marv Marinovich wrote. You know, and this is old information that everybody tries to like big up themselves, and that's what pisses me off, because I could do the same thing that people are doing, just make me look like the guru and all this. Bro, no. You know how many good trainers are out there? I don't care about who's the best. What is the best trainer? What even is it?
Well, the way I think is you should go train with good trainers, bad train. You should train with a lot of people if you have access. You'll learn more by learning, because when me and you talk basketball, it's not like who's right or who's wrong. I always pick something up.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that.
Me too.
But it's like, that's how you should be with trainers. He's not the best trainer, I promise this guy, but you can learn something. And you're going to pick something up. You're going to learn something that you don't like. And it's like, now you move on to the other guy and be like, oh, whatever. Like, I like this. I don't like this. You should train with a lot of different trainers. But yeah, I think when people pretend to have all the answers, and I say that with me too, I can help you with a lot of stuff. But there's going to come a point where I don't have the answers for you.
And I'm going to go somewhere else. To this person, this is a person I know can help with you. That's why I network, because I want to know who can help this person when I need them to help. I got this kid named KJ. He jumps like John Morant. Tomorrow he's going to train with Davion Mitchell's trainer, with Davion. And it's not me. Like, I watched this dude, and I've heard great recommendations. So while he's in town, KJ, please go train with Davion and learn as much as you can from him and his trainer. Because I know we're going to be training. And honestly, if they caught on and they started training full time, no problem. I did what I was supposed to do in the season that I was supposed to do it. We worked all the way up until Fresno State. And you were from 10th grade, going into 10th grade, all the way to 6-7 years later. And I did what I was supposed. I got you here, and maybe this guy might help you out better. There's no shame in that. I don't have no pride, bro. I got more time to focus on him anyway. So, bro,
yeah,
by all means, like, you know, and people have so much pride, and they want to be like, I did that.
Yeah, I made him who he is.
This is what we worked on. Check it out. You know, Dwayne Wade did it, and this is him doing it in practice, and then he did it in the game. Come join my training session. 5 a.m.
Did you see what happened when Tyron Stokes committed to Kansas? And like every trainer is posting on their story, like, oh, I worked with him and this has been just another step in the journey, like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, how Tyron Stokes, it can't be that all 100 of you were his main trainer, right?
Right.
Maybe you were just a part of his journey. Maybe you're just a small part, and that's what we are as coaches. That's what we are. That's what we are. And how many times when we go do these events, will you talk to somebody and give them some advice? And then I'll talk to them and give them some advice. They'll go over to, there's other trainers there. There's other coaches. There's people in their corners. They're getting advice from like 10 people. And someone like an Uncle Scoob, for example, he might come up to you. Hey, Dev, what'd you see out there? He'll come up to me. Hey, what'd you see? What's something I could, I don't know how much of what I said he takes. I don't know how much of he does. Bruce is the same. I don't know how much of what he takes, but he wants to hear multiple perspectives. And then they're pros now. They understand like what to filter in, what to filter out. Kids don't have that filter themselves yet, but the trainer will be like, I did that. And I'm like, man, this kid might not have taken anything you said.
You've worked him out like 7 times in the 18 years of him living. And you
and he's a freak athlete. He was probably going to make it.
He was probably going to. His mom is 6'2". So, yeah. You know, the chances were pretty high, my boy. So, you know, when I see that type of stuff, it's like, I'm gonna stay away from you. I can love you from a distance, you know, because I don't like people. I don't want to say I don't dislike anyone. I don't care to be around people who know it all. If you want to picture my type of friends or who I think is valuable in life, just imagine me in a room with a science coat and there's a bunch of other people around trying to figure something out. That's my idea of what, you know, because I'm always a student. I'm always trying to learn. When it comes to basketball, I do not know it all. Another one of my mentors is coaching right now, Sean Sweeney. He is coaching right now. He's my former.
Why do I know that name?
Because he coaches Wemby, and he almost got into a fight with Giannis on the bench because he was telling him the right thing, and Giannis was not trying to hear it. I know it because he called me a F and P word because I didn't dive on a loose ball. And I took it offensive at the time, but when I looked it back on the film, I was like, well, he tells you all the things that you, so I need people like that. And I was 18 or 20 at the time, but like, these are people that I'm mentored by because this dude, you wouldn't know him as a basketball player. He benches 315, does not look like it at all. Small white guy, but he was Jason Kidd's right-hand man. You know, when Luka was there and, you know, he left and now he's with the Spurs. Like, that is my mentor, you know, and he does not know it all. I give him so much credit for all the stuff, the success that I've had, because I watched him wake up in the morning and do what he's supposed to do, work out, and then watch film, and then show me synergy, and then run a full practice. I watched that. You know what I'm saying? And so then I watched him grow and have all the success in the NBA. He's next to Jason Kidd. Now he's on the Spurs bench. He was. Oh, yeah. Jason Kidd was with Milwaukee, right?
Yeah. Briefly.
Yeah, so he was. That's who, you know, he's the right-hand man. So, you know, when you seeing some of these defensive schemes, that's Sean Sweeney. And he's a good dude. Dev, spill the tea. Were you around during the great training wars of 2020 between, I think, Peter, Tyler, DJ Sackman? I vaguely remember they all used to train together and then stop. I don't know Peter. I do know Tyler. Tyler can play D1. He played with Lethal Shooter. Started over him. DJ Sackman. I know all these guys. Like, we were all pretty much like the Adidas trainers. Like, you know, me, Dribble Too Much, Drew Hanlon, Jordan Lolly. We were all around during those times. So shout out to those guys. I mean, y'all can ask me. Y'all got me right now. Ask me any question you want. You know, I'm mean to take over and just be talking all day, but you let me just hit that red button and cut me off when you want me to stop talking.
This is what I did. They got to listen to me talk all day, every day, so they can listen to somebody else now.
Training fight? We weren't fighting. Nobody was fighting like that.
No, they was talking about whatever the comment Baby Durant was saying, but yeah, I wasn't around for that. I was not online yet.
Yeah, so that was like the beginning of the training thing, and then everybody wanted to become a trainer.
Yeah,
this trainer was not popular for like a long time. I remember Kobe kind of made it popular to me. Kobe made training fun, you know, hearing about it. So at what point would you say you have completed your job in a 1v1 scene when it gets to the Olympics? That's when I'll be like, oh yeah, my work here is done. Dev, in your prime, how would you think think you would fare in today's 1v1 space? I'll put you like this. 1v1 is what I did. I wasn't the best 5-on-5 player. I always admitted to that. I'm actively trying to get into shape because there's one person that's going to have to see me if I ever do. But if I don't, I'm not going to reveal or talk about that.
Bones Highland.
Nah. I'll never see that guy again ever.
Set it up. Heard it here first, guys.
I played against better 1v1 players than some of the guys who are on the scene. I will say that. But there's some guys that are out there that are monsters that aren't like Filet. I always tell people about this. Filet will take this mess over, bro. He's actually really good. I've asked him countless times to get on the 1v1 scene. He did not want to. He said, "Y'all got it."
Is he still is he overseas?
He is doing very well for himself. He went to China. I seen him in Africa. I am so proud of Jesse Jones. I am so proud of this dude, Filet. The dude can actually play basketball. Guy will come out, stay a month with me. We actually have more than basketball talks. That's like my brother, So, people be surprised the people that I'm connected to, but a lot of great players out there. Jerome, Dev, back in the day. Me and Jerome used to play 1-on-1. It was a nightmare, but
I guess y'all were in the same area, weren't you?
Yeah, great competition.
Out there in Cali.
Yeah, he used to come to the gym. I'll tell you a story. The first time, I wanted this video's online. The first time that Jerome Randall came to the gym, we was playing fives. And this is during the time where I had my little squad, the 5-on-5 stuff was popping. Jerome Randall burned the building down. Like he fried us. So we got used to it after a while. We started playing on winning games, but we didn't know what to do with this fool. Like he was going crazy. One time him and Hezzy God went at it. If you know what you're looking at, maybe you might not like Hezzy God, but that boy can score the basketball.
I know he can play offense. That's something I will not question.
He can score that basketball.
He can score. He definitely can do that.
Him and Jerome was going crazy. Too small, Pee-wee. Like they was going back and forth, just talking. But it was we was on the court. I never forget being on the court. Like, bro, what is happening right now? They are going crazy. Like him and Hezzy was going bucket for bucket, and it almost didn't matter. It was really a 1-on-1 and 5-on-5 setting. Like they was coming down and going at it. But yeah, me and Jerome had our back and forth. It was like he's just a very freaking good player.
Question: How do the players in the space get their strength performance train? I mean, everyone's different. It's not structured right now, but it's like overseas. Yeah. Overseas, everyone kind of fends for themselves, and it's like you get in, or for the most part, unless you're playing like elite level overseas, you got your team stuff. But for the most part, you fend for yourself. You lift as often as you can and when you can, and it's
team trainer and nothing like
Yeah, it's your full-time job. So probably like for me, it was every day. I'd be 2 hours in the weight room, 2 hours on the court, and then whatever we did with team stuff. Like that's all I did. So now that I've spoken and I've seen what Scoob and them do, like that's one of the things I said to him. I was like, I appreciate what you guys do because this is what overseas players do. They prepare like pros,
like a job.
But not everyone does, and it shows. But the guys that are at the top, do you think Rob lifts weights every day?
Bro, when you look at him in person,
like look at him. Like Rob is lifting weights every day.
He's crazy strong.
He's probably lifting and shooting every single day. Whereas you look at someone like a Moon probably just plays far more basketball than he does strength and conditioning training, and that is his probably strength and conditioning stuff. So it just depends on the player.
I think that the stuff is just still so brand new that people are still figuring out. Because my goal is to not have guys play 2 to 3 games in a month. I think it should be one every other month, one a month, right? 6 to 12.
I say 12 to 15 games is like the sweet spot.
Yeah. So, and the reason why is because I need you to have time to prepare and get better. Because if you're able to get better, what I know goes into getting better. Y'all got to get better for when, because it's only a matter of time because the money is going up. It's only a matter of time before some of these really good pros start showing up. And if you're not ready for it, you're not going to make any money.
It's already happening now. Look at the guys like Tay. Look at someone like a Tay who when I first started watching on the scene and doing breakdowns, I'm like, whoa, like skill wise and athleticism, this guy is like, I didn't know YouTubers were this good. But then fast forward 6 months and Tay is about the level of athlete that we have across the board.
Right.
It's just like so many more talented people are starting to, almost every single player that gets on the scene now has a resume. Yeah. They either played overseas, played college, like high level college. Whereas before, you know, a year ago, that was crazy to see someone who played high level college ball on the scene. Now that's the norm. It's only going to keep going up.
I think it's so like, I think as time goes on, people are going to figure out you need to get strong. But the thing is, there are anomalies, but like I still think Keon is somebody who is still actively figuring out and he's deceptively strong. But like
he's also a freak athlete.
That's what
like, what I was just genetically kind of freakishly athletic.
People don't understand how athletic Keon is.
How much space he covers.
Yeah, so only people that I've seen give Moon problems from when I watched was people that can match his athleticism. Frigga could just shoot the ball, but they tied. I remember he came and played against one of the kids that I named off KJ. KJ is a freak athlete, so he was going to get him off the glass. While Moon is one of those guys that just needs to keep, because they played a short game, so I got to throw that out. But like, I just know KJ, he's really freaking good. Keon was able to match his athleticism the same way. I saw Moon lose to a guy that was like overseas. It was a great game. It was fun to watch. Bunch of crowd. Shout out to Moon for just being outside. This is what how I want the sport to be represented.
And also how he keeps getting better is just playing more basketball.
With the same moves.
Same thing over and over, just refining it.
We're just getting better and refined. Yeah. So it's like, what the heck? But yeah, no, like I think over time, as things get further along, you're looking at Nas, you're looking at Zay, you're looking at Lamar, you're looking at Rob. These guys are strong. They're strong. They're not weak players. And I think that when you know how physical it is, I talked to Kill about this the other day, Hoodie Kill. And he was just like, I was tired of getting, one-on-one is more physical. I was tired of getting bumped around and fouled and, so I started lifting weight. Look at how strong Kill. If you look at Kill, you could clearly see he's been in the weight room. Look at him with the tank top. He's clearly like been in the weight room. Like he got to be like 205. But he was like, yeah, I spent that time getting strong because I don't want to get bumped around. I think that's what people are going to see. So I see a lot of people coming, they got game, but they be coming all skinny. Well, time's going to tell. And you might be thinking about, oh, what about Jerome Randall? Do you know how much
strong as hell?
Do you know how much Jerome Randall was in the gym, bro? No, everybody associate like just wide with being strong.
It's like bodybuilding strong and just I forget what it's called, but it's strength, applicable strength.
Why do you think
does this apply to your sport?
Steph may not look it, but he's super strong, right? I've seen him stand up LeBron.
Same as KD
in the post. Yeah, a lot of these guys, you just don't know it, right? There was a time where KD and Giannis weighed exactly the same, but they look completely different. So like you have to just understand a lot of the stuff. But I think, we're still figuring it out. What actually
functional strength, that's what it
actually makes that one-on-one player. I watched Zay work out 4 times, 5 times in one day, but he lifts every day. Melo was the in-between Melos, Carmelo and LaMelo, but there was Romelo. And Romello, he hit me up the other day. He's doing cool. I think he stopped playing basketball, him and his brother. But yeah, that was what a time to be alive for that Dunbar series. Dev, what happened to the 3 kids you used to coach? I can't remember if it was. I coached a lot of people in 10,000 hours. A lot of them did well. A lot of them stopped playing. A lot of them got married. Just what happens when you train a bunch of guys. The Asian brothers, they got scholarships. Went on to do. One of them has 3 kids. The other one wanted to be a doctor, which I think is dope. They can still hoop too. You don't lose that too much, but they still in good shape. Kyle is training, good trainer too. Better than me now. To be honest with you, like looking at how he's just taking to it, I love it. Is Steph lifting weights though? If you count deadlifting as lifting weights, squatting,
yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
Almost. I would be shocked if there's any NBA player active that's not lifting weights. I would be shocked.
bro, these dudes be lifting weights after the games.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I started doing that because I wanted to get strong, but it's not so much strong. I wanted to get rid of that achy feeling. So I started working out after I stopped playing. And I was like, oh yeah, I see why people do this now. Get the
Yeah.
blood flowing.
Again, one of those truisms that I always heard is I always had teammates. I was really big overseas about weights. My weights are so important because again, I'm getting beat up in the games. It's a much more physical game. It's a position battle overseas more so than it is here in America with like freedom of movement.
Mm-hmm.
And so weights were extremely important to me, and I was getting hunted all the time. So I'm like, I got to be able to physically deal with it. And I had a lot of teammates who would be like, oh, I'm not lifting because I want to be fresh for the game. And the way I started explaining it to them, I'm like, that's like not studying for a test. It's like I got a test coming up, so I don't want to study.
I don't want to study
because I want my brain to be fresh. And it's like, well, I lift weights every day, even if we have a game or practice, whatever my schedule was for lifting, I do the same. Now I might not do heavy max rep deadlifts on a but I'm lifting every day because when the game comes, that's the test. That's the test to what have you been doing the rest of the week? What have you been doing the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Now, the times that I would take off of lifting might be playoffs. I'm lifting all throughout the season, preseason, all that. But playoffs, now that we're getting to the back end of the season, I'm getting worn down. It might be a lot more recovery. It might be a lot more active recovery, or just going and swimming, doing some other stuff. But yeah, I was lifting every day, and the people that would say I'm not going to lift because I want to be fresh, I'm like, okay, brother, you're doing it backwards. That's not how it works. I wish it did.
Or you be all achy and stuff when third game hit, turn your ankle, and now you got okay. So yeah, if I want to get in the lab with you, I'm in LA all the time, and I try, like, sometimes when we get on the road, like in Houston, I remember Bijan, where was it? Bijan, was it? No, Bino wanted to work out. Bino, we worked on multiple occasions, but like after that, he kind of met up with me at the Toronto series. I remember KB was playing bad. I don't know if you saw KB on Lamar's team, but he's actually like he's been, getting a lot better, but he wanted to get in the gym. So I'm always working out with guys on the series. And then, if you catch me, I got nothing but time for the most part. I want to get in onto the scene, but behind the scenes stuff, what areas would you recommend? There's camera work. There's also like a lot of stuff that people just need to get done. Like, for example, we had an Adidas thing, and I had to run and go get shoes last minute in Toronto at the Adidas store. And I had an Adidas card. I got to swipe the card, and gives me shoes I want, but I had to carry. It's just like little stuff that, event coordinating, event planning. Like, these are all roles that are still actively being filled. And we're like a small team. Boss life, we got a good team, but it's not as big as you would think it is. We just got really good people. We got Malcolm, we got Matt, we got, AK, we got Matt. Like, it's a lot of good people running that business, but it's not like how you may think.
I would also say it's kind of like what we were talking about with YouTube. You probably have to give a lot of value first before people are going to be willing to pay you for something. Yeah. So no one was ever going to have me as a commentator just out of the blue, even though I still had the same basketball knowledge. I could still offer the same thing, but I had to prove, like, what's my use? What's my use to these platforms? Like, how can I bring value? I had a YouTube channel, and my YouTube channel was growing and doing well. And then they could see, like, oh yeah, it might be worth like bringing this guy out. So you're probably going to have to create some sort of value or show that you're a valuable asset first before, like, no one's going to give you a chance. Like, I wish it worked that way, but anything that's worth having, like, you gotta outwork other people for it.
It's like that video I saw the dude. He made a funny video. He's like, I wish this would actually happen to me. Like, I'm out shooting, like, on the street. I hope a car drives by me and see me make that shot, and just be like, hey, like, I have an NBA contract for you. Have you seen that video?
Yeah.
I saw you make that shot. Here's an NBA contract. We're looking forward to working with. No, like, don't work. I think that the best thing that you can do too, going off of what Mid-Range is saying, just find something that you're good at. And that may take time. Trust me. Like I told you I'm 134 days in Spanish, and I cannot speak it fluently. So just understanding that this mess, whatever you do, is going to take some time, but proper planning. You know, Swish is a Swish.
Swift. Hoops?
Swift. Okay, so I don't want to get it wrong. I got it wrong last time. Swift. So you guys woke me up to what he was doing. You know, like he created something and got it going, and now like I'm like, oh, okay, like kind of makes sense how he's putting that. You know, and so that's a prime example of a way that there's a guy that made a app and it tracks. It's almost
app,
like the synergy. Yeah,
the stats. That was crazy. Yeah.
I want all that. You know, so just create something of value and then just go start pitching it to different people. And one door closes, another one will open up. It's like when you leave the windows open in the house and you close the door and one slams down the hall. Like that's the way you got to look at it. Like just focus on just finding those opportunities. And Gary Vee said it the best. He would have an idea and just pitch it to 200 people. One got to say yeah. If not,
be the smart water guy.
Be the smart water.
Somebody's going to buy the water.
That was fire. The smart water was fire.
How do you see this Nas and Archie matchup going? For me, this is what Dev said a little bit earlier. This is what I imagine the one-on-one space would be. If Archie won, it wouldn't surprise me. If Nas won, it wouldn't surprise me. Check up. I just want to see it. It's just a mismatch of two different worlds that are close enough together, far enough apart, but it's interesting storylines. It's interesting outcomes. Gerald Green versus Nas, too far apart. We knew what was going to happen. Too far apart with like age and
I told y'all that
injuries.
I want to see that.
We knew what was going to happen. Those don't interest me. Archie Nas, like now that's closer. Those worlds are closer together. I want to see it. Austin Rivers, those worlds are closer together. I want to see it. And
you know,
LeBron versus Nas, those worlds are too far apart.
Yeah.
I want to see it. But these ones that are getting closer together,
all territory too much.
Yeah, we're starting to figure out where this line is of like where's the competitive mixture of like what ifs, and that's what this is starting to show for me.
But shout out to Archie though, because he loves the scene and wants to play. You know, and it's gonna be. I wonder how much is gonna break the internet, because sometimes when things don't line up with what people originally intended, then they just act like they don't see it, especially on social media.
It's what the Briscoe game was supposed to be. People can hand wave it because it didn't finish.
Right.
So they don't have to confront it. They don't have to confront what really happened was Nas handled business.
Why do NBA players have to play this? All you guys need is them for validation. No, we don't. We don't need them for validation. We would just love to see it.
It would just be good to have on the resume for whenever these questions come up in the future.
It's when Marvel crosses over with
DC.
And so DJO, I went to Marcus Hodges' house and DJO was chilling over there. I interviewed those guys and I asked him just what you thought about the whole. I can't wait to put this out. What you thought about the whole Austin Rivers? He's like, oh yeah, a lot of guys just, and this is a former NBA player, by the way, who got drafted by the Lakers and played with Kobe. He was like, oh
currently still playing professionally.
Yeah. A lot of these guys, they just scared. They just scared to like, you know, what will happen if they played and they lost. You know, because how come they go play in pro-ams, which is the same type of competition.
Same thing.
It's what I tell people. It's literally called pros and amateurs. So they will go play in pro-ams, but then, bro, listen, and I'm gonna keep saying this and screaming it to the mountaintops. I'm a bum compared to Kyrie Irving, and he came and played with me one-on-one, and he wanted to play. We played until we couldn't play anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because he loves basketball.
Yeah.
You know, so to throw resumes and all that, like shout out to Archie for just being like, you know what? I'm just gonna come play.
Check up.
You come show me.
It's just basketball. It's just basketball.
Yeah, like come show me. That's what I love. That's what it's about.
And we spoke about it earlier. Like the people that understand basketball, we're also not going to drag Archie if he gets beat by Nas because we know Nas is actually really good at basketball. It's the people that don't understand basketball that would be like, "What? That's impossible. How'd this happen?" But it's like, no, like Nas is really good. And it's also a different game. It's also a different game than 5-on-5.
Right. And if he was, we always talk about, oh, there's levels. There's all the levels. Yes, there are levels. If there wasn't levels, now it's been NBA. So we got that. We understand that. It's just, if you're going to say certain things, right, don't just talk about it. I love the whole this old guy. He said, don't come saying something, come show something. You know, so when you got all that type of stuff and you're using your resume, don't use that as a reason why not to play if you're going to speak on that in the first place. And you know, I think a lot of people are just going to take, I have a huge amount of respect for Austin Rivers. The amount of times I've watched his mixtapes was crazy. But then I heard Brandon Jennings, and this is another guy. Like, I'm a Brandon Jennings fan. But he said what he said, I would never play against YouTuber. And I think it was more geared towards MK. I think that was what
it was. Again, I think they don't understand what the one-on-one space is, because I didn't either.
But those guys like it though. Like, I think that's where the difference is. A content creator and a basketball player who's playing actively on YouTube. All right,
the best player,
YouTuber,
the best player that I knew on YouTube was Frigga. Right. That was the only person that I had ever saw where I'm like, oh, this guy can, he's pretty good. Like, I respect him. All the rest of the guys, I didn't realize there was a one-on-one scene.
Right.
I didn't realize there was people that were playing one-on-one. I thought it was Cash Nasty, Chris White, and Frigga. And I'm like, oh, and Kenny Chow, I think. And there's a couple others, but I'm like,
for a while, that's what it was. It was content one-on-ones. But like, you start to see Frigga a little bit more. You're like, oh, he could play. You know, he's not bad. You know, he could definitely play. Then you start to see the Nas, and you realize, oh, Zay comes from this school, played in the G. Oh, okay, played overseas. Now you start to get it a little bit further. But like, you know, what are we going to do at a certain point? Oh, well, Jerome Randall's a YouTuber now?
Huh? Yeah, see, Bruce has played 13 years overseas.
But he played in the G League too.
But he's in G League for 5 years, 13 years overseas.
Let's call the D League at that point, wasn't it?
It's still the D League, still the development league. And he's just a YouTuber. Like, what are we doing?
Oh no!
Like, what are we?
But that's when I see this stuff, I'm like, what is fools talking about? Because you got to understand, I was at the beginning of a lot of this stuff. Not saying I created the whole movement. Not saying that. I'm just saying at the beginning when it was out on YouTube, I was doing my thing, other people was doing theirs, and so I saw it develop, and so I see what it is today, and I see guys like Bino who was playing for the G League team for the Clippers, and you know what I'm saying, like, and it's like I can't call Bino a YouTuber. I understand he wants to now create content. Yeah. He's trying to get into it, but he's still actively hoping. You know, so anyways.
And I don't know if you stood on the court with Bino, and it's like he gets dragged through the comments, but I guarantee you, if any of you stand on the court with him and just watch him jab you, you'll be like, oh, I can't go.
Yeah,
he's way better than I thought.
He's low. He can shoot.
He's an NBA level athlete.
And he's arguably one of the best players 3-on-3. Like when the 3-on-3s get popping, he's arguably one of the best players.
He's probably the best catch and shoot player in the space.
he knocked down, bro. He's knocked down. Well, yeah, no. So like, you know, we can go on and on about that. I just think that, you know, it just frustrates me when I hear certain things, but I think that comes more from like when MK, he's clearly trolling. Yeah. What's funny about MK is
that was the first time I saw him was yesterday. I hate it. I hate it's such a stain on basketball.
He beat Frigga. That was one of the funniest things. I don't know where that game came from, but he had played against Frigga too. But you know, MK, like, it's funny seeing what he's turned into, him and K Showtime, because they start off together. And I'm not telling everybody to go troll in the way that he does, but he shows the importance of actually building your social, because just imagine if MK came and played on Baller's Life, just straight up. What happens is people are going to watch. They're going to come watch just to hate.
Just a hate watch.
The views are going to go crazy, but it's just like he's built that opportunity for himself to allow that type of money to come in. Now, you may hate it. Well, I know a lot of people that hate it. It's hilarious. I just know
he knows that. It's the Jake Paul tactic. Jake Paul will tell you, oh yeah, I'm pulling the strings. I'm manipulating you to watch my content. He says that in his interviews, and then he keeps doing the thing, and then people keep watching.
Yeah, he knows that he could feed off of your hate, right? It's what I do.
Or Logan Paul. It's Logan Paul that says that.
Yeah, I know I could just go out and say something and piss people off, and then everybody's gonna run the 1v1 highlights and go crazy over it. And then I could just go off and just do whatever I want or make another $10,000. People really know me. No, I just do. I can get the clicks. I can get people because I just feed off of people's their inspiration, motivation, or I can feed off their hate, or I can feed off, and I just know how this whole stuff works because people are looking for a reason to want to be mad.
Can I talk about that point?
Yeah, go ahead.
When you started getting on to doing more of the OTD commentating stuff, I think it was in Detroit. Mm-hmm. And it was when a lot of people were frying both of us in the comments about the negativity, toxicity, or why is this? Why is this? Why is this? And then that was the first place, because I think that was the first time we'd been around each other that much. But you had like multiple people coming up to you in person and being like, dude, you're the whole reason like people that are filming on the cameras and people that are shooting in Detroit. They're like, you're like the whole reason I'm doing this.
When you see it in person, when you see me in person or you're around me, and you see how people real life interactions, you see it's a total different ball.
It's completely different than online.
But online, it's giving people the opportunity to want to always be right, but two, they could be somebody who they're actually not, right? Yeah. You see a lot of catfish online, but you get to say things and then disappear and hope nobody ever find you. So it's pretty funny, but during those times, people don't understand this about us. We actually want to get better at what we're doing. If we're going to do it, we might as well. You know what I'm saying? So there's been times where you came to me and you were like, we got to get better. I don't care what they're saying. This is what we need. And I'm watching film and I'm saying the same thing about myself, because I pride myself. I was given a role to do a certain thing, but I know me, so going back on that, I always have to, if I'm going to do this, I always have to give you the other side too. Right. So if I'm going to borderline hate or what people will always say, even though I'm being overly critical, I got to make sure that I say the good things when it happens. And sometimes with Lamar, I did not do that because one thing that people don't realize before then, I'm actually a big Lamar fan. So when I was saying bro, he hit that shot, but he got to calm down and just keep the continued excellence because I just wanted him to win. I want him to show a world.
Well, that's the loud content buckets we were talking about, or the efficient winning buckets. Right. And we were looking at it from that side.
I'm looking at it totally different, bro. I'm seeing I know this Lamar. I've seen this Lamar in college. I've seen him in the EuroLeague, literally. And so this is what I'm trying to get. And I know his shape was not there yet. So I would comment on that. But what the comments saying about him now? So it comes with a grand song because some parts are like, I gotta be better. When I went to New Orleans, his boys met me outside the gym and it was bad commentating. They were saying it kind of not in a mad way that I was about to get jumped, but they was just saying bro, just
be aware.
Yeah. And some of them was coming up to me bro, I appreciate you being on Lamar like that. He need that. Sometimes we be on him like that. You know what I'm saying? And I hear it and I'm like, all right. Then let's just get better. Let's just make sure we give flowers. But it's funny because then when you do that, they'd be like, oh, you D-riding.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing I learned about it is that it's actually like wearing a different hat.
Right.
And a lot of people have to do this in their jobs. You just wear a hat for specific purposes. But the commentating hat needs to be a different hat than the coaching critic hat. Mm-hmm. And what I was doing a lot too was I was coaching like I do in my breakdowns. I do that like I'm watching game film with a player. But I need to realize not every player is asking for this advice.
No.
Not all of them want this advice.
Not everybody's trainer.
Exactly. So for me to just put that out there, it's some of them feel the type of way about it. So I need to change the way I actually should just be describing what's happening for the viewer rather than saying what the player should be doing. So that's something I definitely changed as well. But then I put my coach's hat back on. And when I talk to some of the players, I just tell them exactly hey, you got to do this better. or this is why you lost. I can be a lot more direct. So it's like, yep, there's a different avenue for when I need to have that conversation. Doesn't necessarily need to be on camera with the microphone when the player can't have the conversation back, you know?
You said, are you expecting people to think, are expecting us to be natural as ABC, but people still hate on BL's commentary. It's like, dang, like,
yeah, you're not gonna make everybody happy.
You never can win. They I always hear the quote, they hated on Jesus. So you're never gonna be what you think that you're gonna be on social media, because I granted a wish from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I literally did it. I spent the whole day with a kid who's now gone, and it was on the website and everything. And people was like, "Oh, he just think he." I'm like, bro, like, am I getting hate for making a wish? Or he just trying to be, like Captain Saver? I don't know, bro. It was some wild comments about me granting a wish, and all I was doing was just showing up, and because the dude watched 10,000 hours. So, when I see all this stuff, I'm like, you got to take it with a grain of salt. It's up to you to look at. So I talked to Sil the other day, and me and Sil would do, we started the commentator. And he was the first person I wanted him to be a part of it. And we was doing the games, and I went to school for play-by-play. So I could do like, oh, he gets the ball, he goes around the screen, he shoots, he scores, you head it back the other way. I could do that, no problem. But it was the mix of what YouTube is.
Yeah.
What YouTube is with commentating that I understand. So when, I got on, I'm known for talking trash, like when I play basketball. So when I just go to say, I'm like, hey, bro, I'm sorry, because I didn't give you room to talk. I was doing all the talking. And sometimes when we were commentating, I try to just shut up and let mid-range do. And I do the same thing with Bionic. I'm conscious of it because I'm trying to get better. But we still, as much as the players and the platforms are still trying to figure out, so are we. Because who knows what YouTube commentating is, So nobody, and everybody receives the same amount of hate. It's crazy.
But it's the same thing. I say this a lot. I'm like, fans don't know what they want. I say that a lot, and and this as a content creator. If you just do if you follow what the fans say and just do what they say, like, it'll lead you down some crazy paths.
Right.
But as a content creator, you got to put some stuff out there, and you've got to fight. If you believe in it, you got to fight through the adversity a little bit. But now the amount of times where people are like, Coach, I hope you're commentating, like, your commentary is great. And I'm like, that was completely different than what it was at the beginning. So
right. No, hold on. Let's stop there. The first time we got on, people was loving it.
Yeah.
And then when we got to Detroit, people hated it. And so, like, if you look nowadays, right? Because I'll pay attention to all stuff. Like, I want to make sure that I get better, but I read comments. You don't see people comment. Like, the worst thing they got mad at for me throughout the whole Toronto series was when I gave a mic to
MK.
I was like, bro, because what's going on through my head? I'm seeing him talk. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that people are going to be pissed at whatever he has to say because they hate him. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna get these views, we're gonna get these moments, we're gonna crowd through these socials. But at the end of the day, bro, like I said, it really just comes down to basketball, and you had to be there for that moment because it doesn't get across. It's something I was telling the editors. We have to turn the crowd volume up a little bit more.
You got to find moments for the crowd.
Oh man, because it was loud in there. You could hear me on behind it. It was crazy when Sim was going off. Oh my gosh, bro. It was so loud, and you can't hear what the other people on the other sidelines. They was talking crazier than MK to Trayvon Duval. And so, but it sucks because Trey is such a good dude. He really is.
Yeah.
But you gotta be able to weather the storm on the scene, or you become a meme.
Well, I was working with, I think I've said this before, I was working with Jenna O'Hay. She was the captain of the Australian Opals team. So the Australian Olympic national team. So one of the best women's players in the world. Mm-hmm. She was playing for them, but she then became, like, within the year she retired, she became the development for the high performance development coach for the women's side. So all the best players in Australia are going to go through her program. She's going to teach them, we'll all work together as coaches. And one of my other friends said to her, like, as soon as you retire, all of these kids aren't going to care that you played for the national team.
Right.
Like you're just a coach now.
As a coach.
and that's, you know, I've told the story a lot about Kobe. Like when Kobe, like there's this magical thing that happens. Like as soon as you're done playing, or what have you done for me lately in basketball? It's like people will be off that straight away. So Trey Duval, when he first got on the scene, we expected him to be out of shape. This is a new thing. We know he's one of the best players in the world. We can see it whenever he does certain moves. But we also know as soon as you lose a game or have a bad performance, people don't care that you played at Duke. They don't care that you were on NBA draft board. Like they don't care you were in the NBA. They don't care anything about what you've done. And that's the craziest thing. It's so wild to me that that's like just a thing that
stupid to me. But to piggyback off of that, to take your point to a different level. Yeah, so Trey goes from proving grounds and wins by 1 point or whatever it was. It was like he almost lost that game, but he fought through, dog tired. The next day he had 2 games in Battlegrounds straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the day after that he has 1 game. Then we take a break, and then he has 2 games the final day. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in that amount of time. So like he never really had a chance to recover for a player that has not played.
He was the only guy really getting to the bucket for them.
Seriously though. So for a guy that's only played on this is the first time playing on the scene, and it's like we've been saying, it's a different sport. It's going to be a little bit of adjustment period, but you don't get that time in a matter of 4 days.
Yeah.
You know, and people don't realize that. And the games come out over a course of what? A month. I've been looking at OTD. We were there for some crazy games that hasn't come
out. He just dropped the game yesterday that came from the first time I was out there.
What?
Keem and AB versus LP and Zay just dropped yesterday.
Dang. And so, okay. But think about that. So, like, if you're having a bad month and then a game that happened 4 months ago comes out
8 months ago, yeah.
So now you got 6 losses in a row on camera. It's like
Scar had that win on Judgment Day. And then the sim game dropped after that. And people were like, oh, Scar was doing so well. And it's like, no, I mean, the timeline's he's still doing well.
He was doing well, but the timeline that the videos are coming out made it look like he was sorry. So it doesn't look like his narrative is changing. It sucks because I feel for him, bro. I be cheering for Scar. Like, he's such a good player. He has such creativity, but it's like, dang. Just Trayvon, he has I think he's blind in one eye. I know he has trouble seeing out of that one eye. And the fact that he could pass that was sick to me.
And shoot threes.
He got dimes, bro. His specialty is passing. It really is. He's a downhill threat. But you know, I mean, but that's the cool thing about it. Like in Battlegrounds, you got 2 NBA players. Let's just not even say NBA, right? Let's just play high-level D1 guys that are winless in Battlegrounds.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's not me trying to hate on them. It's basically saying that anything can happen in a series like Battlegrounds. But
even Scotty Lewis in ones.
Oh, that was another thing.
But he's still an elite athlete.
He's a pro right now. He's playing overseas.
Yeah,
and so. And so that's what makes the scene so cool, right? Like that. That's what I love. Like that's why when you got a chance for Austin Rivers to come over here, well, in theory, he probably will win. But it's just like I had Davion Mitchell, a few other, not Davion. Who asked me this question? It was a couple NBA players I saw the other day, and they were like, "Yo, who do you think will win out of Austin and Nas?" And for them to ask me, I was like,
"Yeah." The fact that we have a conversation about it, this is good.
Like, hey, that's pretty cool. Like that's where we're at right now. So it is what it. I think that it's in a good place because of that. Because you don't know what's going to happen. That's why you need structure.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get to that structure a little quicker. Do you think we could get a committee together? Do you think it's possible? If not everyone buys in, do you think it's still something that could happen and help, or does it need everyone's buy-in?
I think that it can happen, but personally, I'm just like, well, if people are not going to make it happen, let's just do it on whatever side that it happens, you know? Because what are you supposed to do? Like, I've been talking about this crap for a long time. People, besides you and a few others, y'all the only ones that don't think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
But it's like the proof is in the pudding. I done gave all the stuff that I wrote out of how we can get to an Olympic level. It's not anything that I'm just making up. It's what the NBA did. Like I'm looking at how they structured and how they got onto that Olympic level, getting into the FIBA system, all that stuff. And so, we need to create that committee. So you're gonna be hearing from me.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do it, man. Let's take some steps in that direction.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, thank you for the 3-hour convo.
And 12
That's crazy.
Minutes.
3 hours and 12 minutes. Well, 12 of that was me making sure my dogs weren't jumping fences. But
yeah,
3-hour convo. Appreciate that. And again, I love these combos where it's just like we didn't even have a game plan. We just started talking about random stuff and whatever comes up. So can't wait to see what gets clipped from this. And we have to battle for the next
it's only gonna be the
48 hours.
Stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be only the negative stuff.
have fun in North Carolina though, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
For sure. All right, bro. I'll talk to you soon. I'll let you know how I go.
Yep. All right, man. See ya. Yep. Good. Holy yap session. Chill. When he was asking who votes on the committee, I think you just get one. We have to just put it together first. I think we just got to put it together first and then put something in place to show a proof of concept first and then figure all that other stuff out. Best interview contender. Great conversation. Appreciate you guys for being here. I definitely streamed for 2 hours longer than I typically stream. So that was good. It was a good combo. So we'll probably end there because I'm going to have to stream tomorrow. But yeah, we'll end there and I'll see you guys. Yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Did you guys say the blueprint stuff is happening tomorrow as well? We'll have to figure out. It said it was a free stream, so we might be able to watch that. Might be able to watch together. Do you think y'all can make this happen every week with Bionic? Probably not every week, but we could probably do it more often. Put me on the committee. I'm old and unbiased. Got it. Those are the only 2 requirements. How Bijan going to be in live streams but duck the interview? Classic Bijan. Picking up the game with dropping. Appreciate it. Who's the next guy? Not sure. Who y'all think? Hall of Fame yap session. Nas doing live face-offs in a couple minutes. All right. Well, I'll check those out. But I gotta turn my brain off for a little bit. My brain's fried. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.